McDonCast.
The funnest podcast.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
Only podcast around. Let's get into it. We've got quite a bit of stuff this week. Last week was, did anything happen last week?
Quite a bit happened last week.
Well, we got a lot of
2 weeks ago. We didn't record last week.
Yeah, so we didn't record last week because we were out of town. So the last week was a bit crazy. But anyway, and this week is still crazy because I have finals going on next week. But anyway, we have a big show for you guys today. We got movies to talk about. We got Craven. We got Ray. We got Transformers. Writers Guild is on strike and CinemaCon happened. So we're going to be talking about all of that stuff today and more. I hope you guys are excited.
Or also, because it is now the first week of May as of recording this, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out tomorrow, which is why we're not reviewing it today.
And Zelda comes out the week after that.
It is officially the start of the summer movie season. So we will be giving our predictions for what the 10 highest grossing movies of the summer will be. And then we'll come back in September and see if we were right in any way, shape, or form.
Counting September in that, I only went to...
Did you go to like first week of August or the end of August?
I just went to the slides that we made when they started, and I went to the months.
No, we're not counting the month of September. We're going to come back in September because that's when August will be on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All of August.
Sam, you want to get started with some news regarding our favorite cinematic film universe?
Absolutely. Tell me about the Spum. What's
so
going
Sam,
on over here?
We're big Spum fans, of course. All 3 movies in the Spum, but at CinemaCon, Sony gave its big presentation where I think they talked about 3 whole things. And one of them was the Craven the Hunter standalone film, all right?
Oh my gosh, that is the project I am most excited for.
That is correct.
And cannot wait to see this character whose personality boils down to crazy guy who hunts people get his own movie.
But what if he was played by Aaron Taylor Johnson?
I still wouldn't care.
So he didn't even show up to the event. He sent he sent one of those iPhone videos they record in their cars.
I love
but
those.
He introduced some exclusive footage that was only shown to panelists, was not released to the public. Okay.
Yeah, I bet you there's a good reason for
And he announced that it's rated R, Sam. R-rated Craven the Hunter.
Wow.
First R-rated movie in the Spum.
That is such a news, I've just been told.
Well, Sam, we know Morbius was a big hit, of course, right?
That was the bestest they've ever
It made $1 more billion. So
it did make $1 more billion.
So the
problem is that's not a lot of money.
The best, but by the way, $1 more billion specifically translates to $167.5 million.
Which, $1 more billion is just the exact number that Morbius box office made.
So, which means if they spent exactly the budget they say, which was $83 million, and they spent exactly that same amount on marketing, and that's what they needed to break even, that means they made an estimated $1.5 million in profit.
So $1 more billion is 1.5.
But that does not count how much it costs when they decided to re-release Morbius for the second time.
So that 20 people.
Because they thought the internet memeing about it would account to actual.
They thought they were memeing about it because they liked it, and not because
it was terrible, and none of them even watched it.
The meme was that everyone believes he says it's Morbin time
because no one
saw the movie.
But Sam, don't you want to know what's in the footage?
Absolutely. Did it leak somewhere?
No. But we have a description.
Oh, good.
So apparently, he's going to have his full comic-accurate suit complete with fur. Although,
Do the eyes shoot lasers?
We did not hear anything about him having the eyes on the actual...
If the eyes don't shoot lasers, I don't want it.
There might not even be eyes at all.
Then it's not really Craven. It's only Craven if he wears a leopard print vest jacket combo thing with no middle area that has big diamondy shaped things that shoot lasers that vaguely give the appearance of eyes.
So the footage is him killing some animal poachers. Famously, by the way...
wait a minute. He's killing animal poachers?
Did I not mention the fact that in this movie he loves animals?
So he's just the opposite of Craven
the Hunter. He's the opposite of Craven the Hunter, who is obsessed with hunting the biggest game he can find.
Yeah, so Craven's whole thing is his goal is to hunt like the hardest thing that there is to hunt that he can find. So whether that's an elephant or like a giant tiger
Or Spider-Man.
like a dragon or a Spider-Man, he just wants to hunt whatever the hardest thing to hunt is. So if he's killing animal poachers, then he's not hunting, he's opposite hunting. He's just freeing the animals.
Well, so he kills all 6 of the poachers. He bites one dude's ear off, and then he spits it out. So that's cool.
Which boxer did that? Was it Mike Tyson who did that?
I think so. The footage also revealed that Sam, fan favorite character, the Rhino, is going to appear in this film.
Which Rhino?
He's going to be played by Alessandro Nivola. They only showed his arm in the trailer. It was gray, though. So,
all right.
Do you think it's going to be like... So my guess is, here's what they've done. The Rhino is like the guy in the actual... It has to be like the guy with the suit.
The Rhino is the bad guy.
He wants to kill
and he
some
wants
animal.
To kill every rhino.
Or some random animal.
Something.
Oh, no.
And Craven,
I got
Craven has to stop.
I know exactly what it is.
All the animals.
He's found a way to like synthesize animal DNA or parts into like
he's
some
doing a Teenage Mutant Ninja
some
Turtles?
cool, some new dangerous technology.
He found the ooze.
Pretty much. No, he didn't. But he has to kill all these animals to get it. So
to make the ooze, he has to kill all the animals.
So here's my guess. He's not actually going to be like the full Rhino until the very end, right? He'll be like a guy in a gray suit, and they'll be like, they call him the Rhino because he's got the horns, like something dumb like that. Some really dumb reason for him to be called the Rhino. And he'll just be like an evil businessman who wants to like have an animal experimentation lab. But Craven, because he's a big animal lover, he doesn't like that. So he goes out. He's going to use all of his cool hunting skills, right, to break into the lab and free all the animals.
Not hunting skills, opposite hunting skills.
Animal protecting skills.
Yes.
He's going to break into this big lab. He's going to kill all the criminals. And then the Rhino will be like, well, guess what? I made my super serum. And at the very end of the movie, he'll bulk up into a big gray muscle man who will just kind of look like the Hulk.
So it'll be the second Spider-Man movie with the Rhino in it that the Rhino's not in.
Well, you know how the Rhino in that one has a big mech suit, right?
Yeah, because he's not the Rhino.
But we can't do a mech suit because then it's not like... Because the whole movie, they'll pretend it's about like nature or whatever. So in order for that to be the case, it's got to be like...
He has to actually turn into a Rhino.
Maybe it will be a mech suit. Maybe they'll try to say it's about like technology versus nature. And he'll have a big mech Rhino outfit.
I don't think that they'll do... I don't think they'll touch anything they even like spit on with Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't think they're gonna do a mech Rhino suit because I think that image is still too fresh. In the
comics, it is a suit. He's just trapped. He's just stuck in it, like he can't get out.
Yeah, it's like a big rubber suit.
It's like fused to his body permanently. But
I think he's just gonna be an actual.
I think he will just be a big monster, gray monster man.
I think
And at the very end of the movie, a horn will like burst out of his forehead.
He'll go like Carnage mode.
Yeah, and everyone will be like, "Hey, look, it's the Rhino."
I think he'll look like the non-turtle mutants did in the live action, the Michael Bay live action Ninja Turtles movies.
He'll just look like Doomsday.
Like no, but Doomsday's never been like
in Batman vs Superman, he's just like a big gray tadpole.
He'll look like Doomsday, but with a human face.
Yeah, because
it won't be like the same as the comics where it's like a cutout.
No. It'll be like his face mocap.
It'll be his face, but like with
pasted onto a big guy.
Yeah.
And Craven will use his magic spear or whatever to kill it or whatever. And then at the end, the evil corporation that the Rhino is really working for is probably going to be like Oscorp. And then they'll be like, ooh, Oscorp.
So what?
This comes out October 6th.
Okay. You know what? This movie will be fine. I will recommend this movie if one thing happens.
I know exactly what it's going to be.
Post-credit scene. The Vulture flies in. Morbius is on his back, riding him like a Pegasus, right?
Even though he can fly?
Even though he can fly. And he's in full morb form, okay?
And he's morbed out.
He's morbed out. He's got the vampire armpit wing thing from the comics now, too. He's got his full suit. they go up to Craven, and he just finished eating a guy, and they go, and Morbius is like, "Hey, I like your style."
He's just a straight up terrible. Don't put that into the rest of the movie. At the post credit scene, he just eats a guy.
Yes,
And Morbius is like, "I'm about that.
I like your style.
I like eating people too."
And then the Vulture says, "Hey, people like me and you should team up and do some good."
Yep.
And then he spits out a tooth and he goes, "Intriguing." And then the movie ends. And that's how
Here's what I recommend.
I will endorse the movie.
Take the post-credit scene from Morbius. Digitally insert Aaron Taylor Johnson where Jared Leto is standing.
Like
then,
CGI with like a Snapchat face
yeah.
mask.
And then just use the same post-credit scene again. That way they can save money. And no one will have seen Morbius, so no one will know. Mm-hmm. Except for us, we've seen Morbius. If they ever actually do their Sinister Six movie, do you think they would put Morbius in it now?
I don't think that movie will ever happen. Like, no matter what.
I think it will, though.
I think the universe is structured in such a way where it will not allow that to happen.
It's just
I think that's a cosmic impossibility.
that we'll ever get the Sinister Six movie.
Like, you know how you can't reach...
That's true.
You know how you can't reach absolute zero, but you can get, like, infinitely closer to it? It's like that. We'll never get a Sinister Six movie. We'll just get infinitely closer to it every few years.
Well, not even in No Way Home could they get 6 villains. They only had 5.
That's what I'm saying.
It's literally impossible to get 6 Spider-Man villains in one movie.
You can't do it. You can't.
So they're making this. They're doing Madam Web,
who's not even a villain.
This is all in the spum set.
I know, but I'm saying if they were working towards a Sinister Six, like
we're doing Venom 3. Apparently, El Muerto is experiencing production difficulties.
Wow, you're telling me El Muerto?
Apparently, the writer is having trouble with the script. Probably because there's no script to write.
Probably because
it's a nothing
there
character.
Is no sort. There are 2
issues.
There are 2 pages within those 2 issues where El Muerto shows up. He's on 2 pages. He's not even like a main character within that issue. He's mentioned by name once and then defeated in like the next panel he's in.
But he's going to be the next big time character.
Oh, he's going to be just as big as Morbius.
Mm-hmm. Even bigger than Morbius.
He's going to make an Muernian dollars.
A Mortillion.
A Mortillion dollars.
Sony I'm with the banger business decisions, as always.
Just sell it to Disney.
They
Why
never will.
Are you trying this?
Because this is their only franchise that makes money.
But it doesn't make money.
They talked about 3 different series at their CinemaCon panel, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Spum, Ghostbusters, because they're doing another one of those.
Good.
That they're going to release at Christmas time, at like the most competitive time of the year.
Makes sense.
And Jason Reitman already quit to go do something else.
All making sense.
Mm-hmm. And The Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington. Those are their big movies for this year.
Equalizer 3, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right. Now we're talking.
Yeah. So, remember they did that Equalizer TV show, remember that? With
wasn't that a sequel?
Well, no, there's there's the original one from like the 80s, and then there's the movie which is its own thing with Denzel. And then I think the TV show is a sequel to the original TV show.
Yeah, it was a sequel to the TV show with his...
I don't think it's in the movie universe. I think that... And it's like... It's Queen Latifah, right? I think.
Yeah, so she like slowly chased dudes around and like punched people.
Yeah. What a good franchise.
Good idea for a show.
What if Cop did Cop?
What if police ran around and punch?
Sam, you know what movie's probably going to have some running around and punching in it?
Are you talking about... what are you talking about? That's not the next thing.
What about, Sam, the next Star Wars film?
Ooh, the next Star Wars
We know
film.
that it's going to be 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker, right?
That's what we've been told.
About Rey.
Well, okay. That's what the next film in the timeline is. That's not the next one releasing.
Or it could be. We don't know. Apparently, Taika Waititi
the Star Wars timeline is in eternal flux. So
I'm saying this could be the next one out.
Well, yeah, I'm saying the like timeline of production is in eternal flux.
Not the
actual timeline.
Taika Waititi apparently wants to film his next year.
No, he committed to it. He's like contractually obligated to start filming next year.
We'll see if it makes the date.
We'll see if that contract actually it matters at all.
Or if he's just fired for making another terrible movie.
That's also possible. Well, okay, given that there's a writer's strike going on, and his movies usually like have no script anyway.
That's true. He might be the best
be
in this
fine.
scenario. This might be his ideal scenario.
It'll be interesting to see how all this stuff changes with like in the wake of the events of the past like week.
Yeah, we'll get to more on the writer's strike later, but
Yeah, because that is going to affect all this stuff.
most of it, yeah. Anything that's not already completed. The scripts, it's all going to... Which... This whole never actually finish the scripts until we're almost done shooting thing that Marvel has been doing for years
really
now.
shoot 'em in the
This
foot
is
now.
going to really backfire on them.
Maybe that was a bad strategy.
But Sam, so a new rumor has emerged about the original plans for that Star Wars movie directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. This is the one with Rey. So when that movie was announced, Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson were going to write it.
Mm-hmm.
They were fired. But apparently... They were fired and replaced with Stephen Knight. But apparently, their version of the script was set 60 years after the rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Rey is an old woman not played by Daisy Ridley. And instead of training a whole new Jedi Order, she was just going to train 2 new young Jedi, 1 boy, 1 girl.
So the exact same as what they already did with Luke.
No, because Luke didn't train anyone. Luke just tried and then
Rey
failed.
and he trained Kylo Ren.
Kinda.
And they were the only 2 Force wielders we see on the screen, other than Palpatine.
Well, he tried to train some other ones.
They're the only new Force users we see
He tried to train some other ones.
in
and
the
then
entire new trilogy. So effectively,
What about Finn?
did Finn use the Force?
He has the Force.
He has it, but he didn't use it. He
Does
was like
that- he has it,
passively
though.
aware of its. He like sensed a thing.
He was feeling a thing, and then we never heard it.
Also, Poe also has the Force.
They always say that. No,
because you know the tree that like grew in the Jedi Temple.
yeah.
Like
What is he like made of the tree?
No, his family when the Jedi Temple fell, like that tree got like burned down, and then but there
Yeah.
were like little saplings of it that were like still around.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point in time, at one point in time, Luke goes and he tries to find all these like saplings from the tree
Because he's
Wants to
bored.
put them on like in his new Jedi
Put
Temple,
them on eBay to sell.
and it's revealed that like one of them grew like in the backyard of like Poe Dameron's house, and so that made him like Force sensitive.
Not true.
Yeah.
According to what?
It was in one of the comic books they made.
Someone fact check.
Look
Sam.
up Poe Dameron Force tree. It should come up.
But Sam, what do you think about old Rey? Old Bat Rey?
I don't want to see that for the same reason I didn't want to see old depressed Luke. I don't want to see old depressed Rey.
Well, Luke had to be old because Mark Hamill was.
Yeah,
old.
but I didn't want him to be like decrepit and sad.
Yeah, but Rey would have been decrepit and happy.
But if you're
Apparently they wanted
I
an
see,
actress like
the
Helen.
Jedi Order come back.
They wanted an actress like Helen Mirren to play Rey.
That's fine. I don't care.
But then they decided that
play old lady Rey.
Then they decided they could just do it 15 years later and just pay Daisy Ridley again, who's cheaper.
I just hope that this is. I don't want to see just 2 guys. I want to see a new Jedi Order being made.
It would have been 2 guys.
That's 3 people. Does not
3
an order
people
make.
is an order. Well, Rey probably would have died, so there probably would have been just the 2.
That's just
That's
dumb.
2 people. That's an order.
Dumb idea.
My
No.
question is, why did it take Rey 60 years to start training the Jedi? What was she doing?
That's what I'm saying. That could only happen if she did the same thing as Luke. That's what I'm saying.
What is she? This is like her 4th attempt at a Jedi Order.
Yeah, that could only it would only make sense for that to be the case if the exact same thing that happened in the new trilogy happened again.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It is going to happen again.
No.
There's going to be the new Republic, the new Jedi Order, and then the new Sith.
The Second Order.
They've got black robes and red lightsabers.
There'll be a new empire, and they have guys called
Tsunami troopers.
Bad weather troopers.
Tsunami troopers.
And they
wear
blue,
gray armor.
They wear blue armor because it's like a wave.
We've already done blue. They're all wearing gray.
Haven't we done gray also?
Well, Captain Phasma were shiny, but we can do like...
They'll all be shiny now.
Ooh, all shiny?
So they're all shiny now.
Oh,
and
I like this.
There's a new villain, and he's mysterious. We don't know who he is. He looks kind of gross and old, and he wears a black cloak, and he's got a rotting hand.
He's called
The dictator.
Monarch. He's called the Monarch.
He'll be called the Monarch, and he definitely isn't Palpatine.
And he'll have an apprentice who wears like a cool-looking mask.
Probably like some black armor.
Probably some black armor, like full knight armor. Like a cool, but like techno, like an Iron Man suit, right? And he'll have black... Oh, listen to this. Black lightsabers, okay?
So like the Darksaber.
I don't know what that is. Black lightsabers.
And he'll have a big black cape. And
No.
robes.
Red cape.
So we're just flipping the colors.
Red cape, black lightsabers, but they come out of his arms.
It's like Wolverine?
Like Deadpool in X-Men Origins. And the lightsabers come out of his arms, and he like punches people, and it stabs them.
So he can punch
Yeah, he can punch stab people with lightsaber arms.
He's got 3 on each hand.
Ooh. Yes.
And just like the Darksaber, they're vaguely claw-shaped.
And Rey, you know that tool that you use to like change your tire that's got like the 4 prongs?
Like a wrench.
Rey has a lightsaber that's like that.
No, okay, so you know how
she holds it like this.
You know how her dark side lightsaber like flips out? So it'll be like that, but it'll have 2s. It'll be double bladed normally, and then each side will have a side.
And then she can turn it around like this, and it spins. And she can block him with
like
his
the
lightsaber punches,
ones, but just like.
But she has to do it manually.
Which those already didn't make sense because if you're blocking like this, they would just stab you like where there's no lightsaber blade.
Also, they'd have to fit the whole lightsaber components in like the wheel part.
Not necessarily, but that'd be dumb either way.
It was dumb, but they did it anyway.
The logic of how those works does not hold up with the way lightsabers traditionally.
Didn't they say they're like not real lightsabers? They're like something else.
No, the kyber crystals were synthetic, which is that had been canon before.
So those are synthetic, but like the real Sith still use the normal ones now.
Yeah. Okay. So
because the real Sith they have to make them bleed or whatever.
Yeah. So originally the lore with the lightsaber crystals was Jedi crystals, with the exception of one, which I can talk about in a second, were all found in various places throughout the galaxy, but usually Ilum. And they were naturally occurring crystals that were like tied to the Force. Except for Luke's in Episode 6. His was synthetic because he learned from a holocron how to make it, and he also...
I think that still is canon. I think you still
That's not canon.
It's not?
No, it's not canon anymore. Because he didn't know that like the Jedi could find them in caves, but I guess in the new canon he just found a lightsaber crystal. But for Sith, the way that they get their crystals to be red is they have to take a regular crystal and they have to pour all of their anger and hatred into it and make it bleed, like physically wound the Force inside the crystal to turn it red. And then, so that's how those work.
That's pretty cool, though.
Then they had taken synthetic crystals out of the canon, and then they reintroduced them with the Inquisitors. But the reason that they had taken them out was because they changed the Death Star lore as well to make it so that it was powered by kyber crystals. If you can artificially make them, then why did they take them out of where else?
I guess that's cheaper.
It's cheaper to go and steal them from places.
Well, to mine it, then
go in a lab and go bloop. There we go, crystal.
Well, is that how they made them? Just in a lab?
Yeah, that's what.
But you'd have to like pay you'd have to like put the lab
in the real world. We can synthesize diamonds, and it's way cheaper than mining them.
Well, that's just because those people own all the diamonds. That's not because it's hard to mine diamonds.
The same people who synthesize them are the people who mine them. They do both. I'm just saying it's cheaper to synthesize them.
Maybe not in Star Wars land.
Why wouldn't it be?
Maybe it's hard to get the materials.
To synthesize it?
Yeah.
Harder than finding the rarest occurring mineral.
It's not hard. They're only in like 2 planets. You just go to the planet and strip mine it.
You can't strip mine.
That's what they did.
No, they just went to Jeddah and was like, give us your kyber crystals.
No, they like stole all of them and left.
Yeah, they stole them.
That's the cheapest option.
They didn't strip. No, but that still requires labor. You have to pay the stormtroopers to go get them. You have to pay to fuel the ships to go get them.
Sam, there's a general principle in economics called if I steal it, it less work.
But you have to pay someone to go steal it.
They're already paying them. They're the stormtroopers. They're like the janitors. They just work for them.
I know, but the labor cost, there's something called opportunity cost. You could have those stormtroopers go, crush a rebellion somewhere, or go, enforce, martial law on some town. Or you could waste their valuable time, or your valuable time, because you have to, again, your time that you're paying for. Send them to some backwater planet on the outer rim in the middle of nowhere so they can steal a bunch of rocks that you could otherwise have just made in a lab.
But then you have to get people who know how to make them in the lab.
That's not
and
difficult.
Find a big enough lab.
They made enough.
It's
for
easier
all the
if you
Inquisitors
just
to
tell
get.
all of your grunts who already work for you and just do everything you say.
Why don't you just look up if,
to just pick up a bunch of crates and
look
move
up
them.
if they're synthetic? Because I don't even know if that's true. I'm just assuming
It doesn't
that's
matter.
True. Just Google
this
it.
This is the dumbest discussion we've ever had.
I know, but it'll end if you Google it.
Are there synthetic?
No, look up are the Inquisitors lightsabers.
Lightsaber crystals. Boop, boop, boop.
That's going to give you a bunch of conflicting answers because you're going to get legend stuff.
Yeah, it's giving me legend
so
stuff.
So ask if the Inquisitors lightsaber.
Are the Inquisitors... two kyber crystals. It does not say there's synthetic. That's according to Star Wars fandom.com.
All right. Well, I guess they're real.
No, it's Wikipedia.
Well, I mean, that's as good a source as any.
Wikipedia is telling me it's real.
All right, well, we'll just assume that they're real then. I don't know where.
That's fun and cool. Anyway, Sam, you want to talk about a dumb thing that we both dislike?
Sure.
Transformers. It's back again.
Transformers 1. What is this?
This is the new film from Paramount Animation and Hasbro. Correct. It is not Transformers the movie, which is technically the first Transformers film, or the movie Transformers, which was the first of the live-action films. This is Transformers 1, which is a new animated film.
So this is like Xbox One.
This is a prequel, yes. So it's called Transformers 1, no colon, okay, just Transformers 1. It's going to release on July 19th, 2024, so a year. It's like a year later from the new live-action one.
Hopefully, with the writer's strike going on, this will be like Revenge of the Fallen.
The script's already been written.
What?
The film will take place on Cybertron, all right? It's going to be a prequel. It's going to focus on the
like that Netflix show?
It's going to focus on the friendship between Optimus Prime and Megatron before they were enemies, back when they were cool friends. A little bit
before that Netflix show.
Josh Cooley is directing, who did Toy Story 4.
I don't care.
Andrew Barrer and Gabriel Ferrari are writing.
Sure, why not?
They did Ant-Man and the Wasp. Two of the 5 credited screenwriters on that film. Then they revealed the full voice cast. All right, you want to know who it is?
Go.
Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime.
Okay.
Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron. Scarlett Johansson as Alita, which is the other female Transformer that is not RC.
Not to be confused with the robot girl Alita from a different movie.
No, because nobody knows what that is, and people know what Transformers is.
But there's 2 robot girls now named Alita.
Keegan-Michael Key is Bumblebee.
That's a choice.
John Hamm is Sentinel Prime.
Okay.
Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion.
These are all names that I recognize. I don't remember what most of them look like.
What do you think? You think Bumblebee will talk in this one, like real words?
But yeah, if you have Keegan,
can we please have him say real words?
I don't understand.
The buzzing thing is super annoying, and I don't know why they did it.
They did it. The first time I think they did that was the Transformers, the first movie Michael Bay made.
Yeah, that was the first Michael. He did that. That was his choice.
He did that because he was like, it would be funny if he talks
like a bee.
But he doesn't even talk like a bee. No, remember he talks using radio.
Yeah, I know. The idea was that he's buzzing, or it sounds like a buzz because he's switching radio channels or whatever. It was dumb.
It was reinforced in Transformers
Prime. They did it in Transformers Prime as well.
Although, at least in that one, they explain why.
They do. They explain it like a throwaway line in the movie.
Because they show in Transformers Prime in one of their flashbacks, he got shot by Megatron. No, it was actually part of the show.
Doesn't he get stabbed in the neck or whatever?
During the first season of the show.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it actually happens. And then it gets restored at the very end.
And for the rest of the movie he can only buzz because he got wounded in battle.
But
that at least makes sense.
And then they did the Bumblebee movie, which is now the reboot. Retroactively is now a reboot of the whole timeline.
Where he doesn't talk for just no reason.
No, he does talk at the beginning and then they show it happening. It's stabbed in the neck.
So it's the same.
It's the same thing. Well, that's what else is it gonna be?
Just have him talk.
It's got a birth defect, and that's why.
Just have him talk.
They should just have him talk. Well, in the Bumblebee movie, I was like, okay, it needs to be a E.T. type thing, and if E.T. just explains exactly what's going on, then there's less mystery and ooh.
There's no mystery to the Transformers, though.
But then when the humans discover, when the girl discovers Bumblebee, if Bumblebee's just hold up, I'm a big robot from planet.
Yeah.
Then but in this, it's going to be oh, it's a big monster.
Okay, they're shooting themselves in the foot so hard, though, because you can make explaining to the audience what's happening so much easier if the alien can talk. Because then Timmy doesn't go, what's it?
Optimus Prime is there to explain what's going on. Bumblebee is there to
make noise and sell cars.
To be the other one that people know the name of.
Because he has the biggest name.
People only know who like 3 of them are. That's why.
They know Optimus Prime. They know Bumblebee.
Just see,
they know Megatron.
They were the what's his face? Remember the one who had like lights?
Wheeljack.
Wheeljack. They redesigned. They had him in. By the way, if you haven't seen the Bumblebee movie from 2018, like no one has,
I haven't seen it
because it came out in like a really crowded marketplace and they didn't market it at all. But it's pretty good. It's the best of the live action Transformers movies, mostly
which is a very easy feat.
Mostly because it has a director not named Michael Bay. But in that one, it starts with like a 5-minute long scene on Cybertron, and it's all of the Transformers, and it's an action scene where they transform. You can tell what is happening, and they all look like they're supposed to with like their original designs, and it just makes you wonder why they ever did
anything else.
All the other 5 movies they did, because it's just way better than any of the other stuff. But in that, they have Wheeljack, and he's looking like his original design. And then in the Rise of the Beasts, which is the new live-action one, he's in it again, but they changed it, and now he has like a weird humanoid face and like,
he's like
big metal glasses
for some reason.
It's terrible. I don't know why they did that. Why do they feel like they need to redesign them every time?
They look fine. Stop it.
Just keep the same like core robot.
Stop making them look like humans.
Just change. If you need to sell different versions of the action figure, just change the paint.
Yeah, make them a different
Why do you have to completely redesign like their face every time?
And if you make it a super complicated face, when you make the toy, their face won't look right.
It looks like a smudge.
There's a reason.
The whole purpose because it was simple.
The reason Optimus Prime's face looks like this is so you can easily make it a toy.
Because it's simple. It's plain. It's easy to manufacture.
He has a gray slab.
It's easy to identify. You know who I can't identify? It's Wheeljack in the new Transformers movie. I couldn't even... Okay, let's Transformers Rise of the Beast. I bet you I could just show this to a Transformers fan and they wouldn't even know who this is supposed to be. What is this?
Yeah, that looks like no one.
It looks like nothing. It just looks like a robot with glasses.
They have Transformers with like more humanoid faces that you can tell apart from
Which is weird, because this is what RC looks like, and RC looks fine.
She looks fine.
Bumblebee looks fine.
Bumblebee looks weird, but he's got a non-human face, so like I'm okay
everyone.
with that.
He's like the only one.
You should make it so you can tell them apart. If you make him just look like a guy, that you don't know who that is.
Apparently,
anymore.
They modeled Optimus Prime's face off of Peter Cullen in this movie.
That's cool, but why though?
Because he voices him.
I suppose for animation reasons, that's like the easiest thing to do, but why?
Are you excited for more Transformers?
No.
Does anybody?
I don't think I've seen a Transformers movie since the first one.
Nobody
I think that's the
has.
only one I've seen.
No, I think you've definitely seen at least like...
I've never seen any of them in theaters.
They all kind of just merge together in your brain, so it's hard to know if you've seen the ones you have or not.
I've seen the first one because Papa showed it to us when we were little.
That one's okay.
That's the only one I've seen. I haven't seen any of them in theaters.
I think I've seen the first one. I've seen Bumblebee. I'm 90% sure I've seen The Last Night, which is the medieval one.
I saw parts of that one like on TV.
I think I've seen all of Age of Extinction, although I don't remember it at all. I have not seen Dark of the Moon or Revenge of the Fallen. Revenge of the Fallen is the one that was made during the writer's strike.
It was made during the writer's strike.
Well, it was also written by Alex Kurtzman. So regardless of whether or not he's actually... he's about as useful protesting for more money as he is actually working.
Yeah.
So speaking of the writer's strike, though, let's get into that. Okay? Writers Guild of America strike 2023. For the first time in 15 years, around 11,500 film and television writers have put down their pens and laptops to form picket lines outside of the major studios. The strike began on Tuesday, May 2nd, after the WGA, Writers Guild of America, failed to reach an agreement with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, who is the people who represent the major studios.
Yeah.
The strike is due to a variety of reasons, mostly driven by streaming. So again, the last one happened 15 years ago. That was in 2007, 2008. That was the network television was still a thing then. Now we're all transitioning to streaming. They have not negotiated any contracts revolving streaming with the Writers Guild. So this is the first time, which is why they're striking. So they're seeking higher pay to go along with inflation, to allow more writers per show, shorter exclusive contracts.
Well, no, because a lot of the networks were getting rid of writers' room.
Yeah,
were like as part of the
they're seeking
to instill.
They're seeking to eliminate short exclusive contracts, the elimination of mini rooms, which is when the studio forms like 6 people to map up the entire show, so that they don't have to employ a full writers' room, and the establishment of a better residual system, which basically doesn't exist at all with streaming shows.
Essentially, what they're trying to do is get the same deals that they have with network television in the streaming
Basically,
space.
what happens is
because all this stuff is required
in 2008
for a network show.
In 2008, the full season of television was 24 episodes, right? So their pay was based off the 24 episode count. Now, streaming shows are all like 8 episodes.
8 to 12, yeah.
And they're taking the chunk of money that the writers would have made for the first 8 episodes of a network television season out of 24 and just paying them that for a full season of 8 episodes for streaming.
Yeah. Now, okay, to be fair, the episodes for streaming are 2 to 3 times longer than an episode for television.
But they're not going by episode length, they're going by number of episodes.
Yeah.
So, in recent years, half of series writers now earn scale, which is the minimum, basically writers' minimum wage. That number was 33% in 2013. So the amount of writers being paid the minimum has gone up. Median screenwriter pay hasn't risen since 2018 at all. If you adjust it for inflation since 2018, which was 5 years ago, it's actually gone down 14%. So they're getting paid less than they were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
A big component in the discussion is also the regulation of AI, which the WGA basically just wants to not be involved in screenwriting at all. But during the negotiations, AMPTP, who is the Hollywood, basically was like, we're not going to put anything involving AI in this agreement.
No, okay.
Because Hollywood's dream would be...
Regardless of how this goes, whether or not this deal goes through, whatever, AI will eventually replace them. You cannot stop that. That will happen. That is not, we can prevent it. That is an absolute certainty.
And you're for it, right?
I'm not for it. I'm just telling you, regardless of whether or not you're for it, that is going to happen.
Well, the WGA
absolutely
is trying to stop that from happening so that they can sue the studios if they do that.
They can push it back. They can delay it. It will happen.
Because Hollywood's dream would be to never have to hire writers again.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, it's not just that. Again, it's economics. If it is more efficient and less expensive, the technology will eventually...
I don't think you need to explain why the computer writing the script is more financially viable.
No, I'm saying you can never prevent technology from progressing, ever. That's never, ever been successful in human history. So whether or not you want AI to write the scripts or whatever, whether or not, and this is something I saw a lot on Twitter, is like, the AI could never replace the touch of a human, the real human element. Absolutely it will. The AI is worse today than it ever will be for the rest of human history. We are at the worst point in AI right now. It will only get better.
Do you think it'll make good movies?
Not right now, but it will.
Like eventually you think it'll make good movies?
If in the future, absolutely
you think
it will.
The computer will write the good movies now?
Yeah.
Why?
What is the AI?
It is an amalgamation of a bunch of learned information regurgitated back at you.
Right. What does a writer do before they start writing for a show?
Come up with ideas.
I'm not talking about coming up with ideas. I'm talking about...
You know what can't have any sort of...
What is the process for becoming a writer?
You sit at a computer and write.
No, that's the process of writing. What do you have to do before you become a writer?
Nothing.
You have to go to school and learn to write.
Like elementary school.
How long does that take?
Until you graduate from high school? What is this? What are you trying to say here?
How long did it take the AI to learn how to write?
No time, because it's a computer.
Exactly.
You think they're hiring babies 18 years in advance?
No, stupid. I'm saying the AI is way more efficient at learning how to write good than a human is. If a human writes bad scripts,
yes,
it will take them significantly longer to learn how to write good scripts than the AI will. Because the AI has access to all the best scripts ever written. So if you give the AI all the best scripts ever written, it'll eventually learn how to write good scripts. Think of it as the TikTok algorithm, all right? The first time you download TikTok, what does it give you?
Random nonsense.
Random nonsense and garbage. Give it a week. Oh, now there's some stuff. Now there's some Star Wars in there. I
get how AI works, Sam.
But you see what I'm saying? It's only a matter of time. Yeah, right now, anything you ask it to write, if you ask it to write a full-length movie, it's going to suck. It's going to look stupid. But right now is the worst it will ever be. It will only get better. And this technology will eventually
But AI also can't have any sort of inspiration at all. It can't make anything up. It only knows how to do what's been done before.
Humans have been writing the same 7 stories for all of the time we've been telling
Same 7 stories, but none of the characters, none of the environments, none of the worlds, none of the actual lived experience will be there. It'll just be regurgitating ideas from 20 years ago.
I don't think you realize how powerful it already is. If you ask it to come up with characters and stories right now, it can do that. They won't be very complex.
And it'll be based on ideas from other stuff.
That's what everything is. Star Wars is just City of a Thousand Planets mixed with Dune, mixed with Seven Samurai. Everything is just mixes of ideas. The AI just does it way faster than we do. That's what I'm saying. This, regardless of whether or not we want it to take over, regardless of whether or not we think it's possible now, it will. That is a guarantee. That is a certainty.
I don't want it to.
I don't want it either.
Why not? Why would you not want it then?
Because I think that those humans deserve to get compensated for their creativity and their labor.
But what if they're not doing anything? What if the AI is writing all the scripts?
That's what will happen. That's not happening right now, though.
But what if they do?
Then those humans will go find other jobs.
So in 20 years, when the AI is really good at writing, you'll be okay with it writing all scripts.
I won't like that it's doing it, but
why would you not like that?
Because I like the idea of a human-made story.
So the AI can do the human-made story the same as the human can.
I know that.
So why do you like that idea over the computer writing all your scripts for you?
Because I would like to think that the money I'm giving to a project is going to the humans who made it, not to some executive who Google.
But what are we going to do when the AIs make every aspect of a movie?
That will eventually happen. But I'm saying,
when the AI is able to generate an entire super realistic movie by just programming in prompts, then what will we do?
And that will be how Hollywood works.
I think people will just not see those movies.
I think they will.
I would not see a fully AI-generated movie.
Eventually, you won't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you.
There's always going to be some weirdo filming stuff in his backyard.
There will always be people making their own movies. But I'm saying, like, the big movies that get in theaters, the big-budget movies, those will be the first to go.
That would topple a multi-billion-dollar industry.
It wouldn't topple it. It would make it infinitely more profitable.
Except for millions of people would lose their jobs.
Yeah, millions of people would lose their jobs. Sucks for them. I'm the CEO of Disney. I don't give a crap. I just got a $15 billion raise, baby.
That would be so terrible for society.
Look freaking awesome. Bro, we're going to save so much money. We're going to get so much capital. Y'all, we're going to be rolling in it. Oh, Jerry doesn't have a job. Jerry can't feed his kid.
But if all those...
Jerry's kid who has cancer can't afford their medical payments anymore. Whatever, bro. I replaced him with that AI bot. We're cranking out Marvel movies like you ain't never seen at a rate you ain't even able to comprehend anymore. You think they're going to not do that? So no matter what deal they strike, the end is near.
Well, it's not near. It's not that near.
It is closer now than it's ever. We've never been at a point in time.
They can't do it now.
They can't do it now.
The union deal is probably going to last another 15 years. And as long as they're employing any writers, they have to then re-sign the WGA 15 years from now.
You know why they sign deals with the laborers?
So that all the writers are just gone immediately?
No, so it's in the benefit of the capital owners to have the laborers working for them. Because without the laborers, there is no production.
Mm-hmm.
Without production, you make no money. If you can just replace the laborers completely and just hire one guy to just input prompts into a computer that makes the movies, you're going to do that. There's no point in negotiating.
Wouldn't if that technology advanced that much? What would be even the point of an industry to make it though? Because couldn't anybody just do that?
Because people still like to go to the movies and see big stories.
But like, why would you pay for someone else's when you could just have the computer make one for you at home?
Because of IP. Because of branding.
But you just do the IP on your computer. You just type it in.
No, but you don't own Spider-Man.
But if you don't distribute it, you can just put it in there and just watch it.
That will probably happen, but not for like
Now we're just doing Ready Player One.
Hardware is not going to be that good anytime soon. But what I'm saying is, we're at a point right now where we can see this coming on the horizon. That's never been the case before. This has never even been a notion. We've never thought...
It has been a notion.
It's been a notion, but...
We made Terminator 2 like 30 years ago.
That's only like... That's fiction. It's never not been fiction until now.
Yeah, that's how science works.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We've never had the technology to do that. Like, hypothetically, right now...
Well, we had like Siri.
Yeah, but if Siri's like super dumb, Siri is like has half of 7 brain cells. She has 3.5 brain cells. What I'm saying, like, you could go to ChatGPT right now and ask it to make you a script about a cat who falls in love with a dog, and it'll do it. It won't be very good, but it will do it. That's never been possible before. That's what I'm saying. The end is coming. We can push it back. We can delay it. We can, save our jobs for a few more years. But the end is coming.
I'm trying to open ChatGPT, but it's taking too long.
Sometimes if there's a lot of people using it, it doesn't.
It is after school hours, so there's probably about 800 million high schoolers currently trying to get them to write their final essays for the year. Write me a script about a cat who falls in love with a dog. Boop. Title, Pause for Love. Exterior, suburban street, day. A cute, fluffy white cat named Luna. You never name a white cat Luna because you name it.
No, but it immediately came up with a character.
Boop, 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 boop. Who is Sarah? That's a boring name.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
It's just going. It's writing. It's going.
Now, if you went to some studio in Hollywood, let's say you walk onto Warner Brothers studio.
The dog's name is Max, which is the most generic dog name of all time.
But it came up with a character. But like, if you walked up to a writer in Hollywood, and
this is getting weird.
Well, yeah, it's a cat falling in love with a dog. That's a weird concept. But
they're nuzzling each other. I don't like where this is going.
But if you had walked up to a writer
There's no plot. They just immediately fall in love upon looking at each other.
Well, yeah, it can only be like 500 words long, but that's because you haven't paid for it. But my point is, if you walked up to a writer, like any writer right now, and you asked them to write you a script about a movie where a cat falls in love with a dog, how long do you think that would take them? Even if they write the same...
Like a good script about it?
Like that. How long do you think it would take them to write that?
Like 20 minutes.
How long did it take that to write that?
Like 40 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. So, that might not be very good, but that is the worst version of that script you're ever going to get. It will only get better, and it will only get faster.
By the way, I wasn't done with the rest of the stuff.
I know, I wanted to talk about that point specifically, because I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about that, about like, AI can never replace XYZ about a human story. Absolutely it can. Absolutely it can, and absolutely it will.
Well, I don't know. Because it can understand that, like, it can understand a method, but it can't understand why that method is used.
Yeah, it can.
How?
Tell it why. The exact same way humans learn is how that AI learns. Anything you can teach to a human, you can teach to that, and you can
we'll
teach
have the fully AI-generated movies by the time Skynet wipes us all out?
It would depend on who makes Skynet and why. But my point is...
Well, regardless of who made Skynet, we're going to die from Skynet.
It depends on what the AI is for.
Do you think we could feed the AI Terminator 2 and be like, hey, if you take over, this is going to happen?
Tell it to write Terminator 3. Tell it to write a sequel to Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Okay. Write...
Or say a plot summary, not a script.
Write a sequel to... write a plot summary for a sequel to Terminator 2.
A hypothetical, because otherwise it'll tell you what the actual one is.
Boop. Oh, yep, it's just telling me the plot summary of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Now say, what would it look like if you wrote it? How would you write it? Or like, pretend you're a writer, how would you have changed it?
For a sequel, for an original sequel that you wrote. That you write. Go, Stevenson. Stop Jenner. Go. Terminator Resurgence. Oh, it's bringing Edward Furlong back as John Connor. And Arnie is back as T-800.
So do you think that would have been better?
There's a new threat called the Syndicate. The enemies are the humans? Sam! I think the AI is already planning to take over.
Okay, but what movie would you rather see? That movie or Terminator Genesis?
I don't know. I didn't read the whole summary.
If I gave you that movie summary and I gave you the summary for Terminator Genesis, which one would you rather see?
I don't know.
Based on what
what happens in Terminator Genesis? Terminator Genesis. Remember when they spelled Genesis wrong?
Just look up a plot summary for Terminator Genesis.
Altered timeline. I mean, they're about the same quality-wise.
But do you see how, that notion alone is scary?
Not really. I mean, making Terminator Genesis is not hard. It's really bad.
But the idea of a computer making that by itself was not... Most people could not have even thought of that, last year.
I could have thought of that, in 5 minutes.
No, but you wouldn't have believed it if someone walked up to you and told you it was possible.
To make
If
Terminator...
I walked up to you and I said, hey, I have an app
for the AI to do that?
Yeah.
Or for... Yeah, I would have believed it was possible because I've seen this thing before.
But you've seen it now. I'm saying last year before you saw it.
If someone last year said, hey, there's an AI that can write plot summaries for Terminator 2, I'd be like, all right.
That will
ranch
get better,
in your
though.
beard right now.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You eating McDonald's ranch?
No, it's Chick-fil-A ranch.
You have Chick-fil-A ranch and McDonald's fries.
Yeah, we're out of ketchup.
There's some
Mama
right.
had Chick-fil-A ranch in there.
Okay, that's absurd. All right, let's keep going. So we don't know how long the strike is going to last. The last one was in 2007 through 2008. That lasted for 100 days. The WGA has already received support from the Directors Guild and the from the Stage Production Hands Guild.
And how much did it cost?
Of all the theatrical stage employees.
$2.1 billion, I think.
When the last one
$21
happened, yeah, it was something like $2 billion worth of,
Yeah, I think it was 2.1 billion.
of damages. So, which is interesting. So the DGA and the SAG, which is the Directors Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, their contracts both run out at the end of June as well. So it's interesting to see what kind of side they take on this, because that could then influence their contract negotiations. It would take monkeys in angel wings flying out of the sky for the Screen Actors Guild to ever go on strike, but or the Directors Guild, really, for that matter.
Well, they make
because if the Screen Actors Guild goes on strike, then there are literally no actors.
Yeah,
everyone is a member of the Screen Actors Guild. There's a good chance you're a member of the Screen Actors Guild, and you don't.
I am actually a card-carrying member.
Yeah,
of the Screen
all you have to do is have one line and one thing.
Technically, so then we qualify because of the movie we made.
Well, that's not a SAG certified production.
But we could have gotten it SAG certified.
Maybe, if we distributed it. Countless productions will be affected by the strike, but the most noticeable in the short term will be all the late night shows. They're already off the air. All their writing is done on essentially a daily basis. So if there's no writers...
Yeah, they're gone already.
Tomorrow, they're not doing a show tomorrow. So they're all on reruns. SNL has been shut down for the short term. This week, they were supposed to have Pete Davidson host. That is not happening. They're going to be reruns. There's a good chance that that season will reach its scheduled end before they are able to make another episode. So the season of SNL is probably over.
Oh no!
So that's interesting.
What a tragic loss for
we'll see how
humanity.
long this goes on. They're asking for very reasonable things, but Hollywood is in a really
They are
uncharted territory right now.
Only asking for like consistency from streaming platforms to
network television.
That's all they want. The same protections they have on network television.
But Sam,
on streaming.
Sam, how are we supposed to produce 58,000 streaming shows a year if we have to pay writers to write them? Why
Maybe
can't we
make
just
less bad
Why can't we
shows?
just pay a homeless man in McDonald's French fries to write our TV show?
I mean, you could still do that technically, I guess.
Here's a typewriter, Jerry. Go at it. Write me a spy thriller for Netflix that will convince people is politically driven, and so they'll watch it out of loyalty.
Put that what you just said.
No, I'm not going to put that in
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. All right, want to talk some trailers? Oh, by the way, good for them. They should strike. This is like basic stuff.
This should have happened.
They're just asking
This
to
should
get.
have not been different.
They're asking to get paid what they got before, so you can obviously afford it. It's not hard.
Because you were affording
Yeah.
it, like, very recently.
And just pay them residuals for the TV shows that people are watching a million times over on your platform.
I will say...
The guys who wrote all those Office episodes should probably get paid for the fact that everyone keeps watching those same Office episodes over and over again.
I will say, though, streaming platforms are way more expensive to maintain than a network broadcast is. And, like, Disney Plus has done nothing but bleed money. Paramount
Yeah, they're
Plus,
all bleeding money.
HBO Max... Actually, Hulu probably makes
Streaming was literally the... Hulu makes a crap ton of money.
I think
now.
Hulu and Amazon Prime, though, were the only ones
Amazon
that actually
Prime
make
is
money.
not profitable, although we don't really know that because Prime is profitable, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I think those two are the only ones that, like, actually
They get
make
to be
money.
profitable because they're really charging you like $100 a month, and the only thing they're paying for is the shipping costs.
Exactly.
But
like,
Hulu is absurdly possible. Hulu makes so much money on ads, dude. It's ridiculous how much money
big
they
booty
make.
loads.
But everyone else is bleeding money. No, we talked about it before, how streaming was like literally the dumbest thing Hollywood could have ever done to themselves.
I think that
They made themselves irrelevant, which was the dumbest thing they could have done.
I think long term, this either kills streaming services
What does?
or substantially relegates their reach.
I think you'll see, I think generally right now you're going to see the content shuffle will slow down. There will be less stuff coming out.
Even though these platforms are, like absurdly unprofitable. at the moment. Corporate profits from major studios have gone up,
Except for Warner Brothers.
except for Warner Brothers.
Who is,
That's a bit of a different situation.
Basically got the equivalent of financial cancer at the moment.
But for the most part, they've gone up by like a tremendous amount. I believe 5 years ago, the net profit of like Hollywood productions, like the actual profit was like $2 billion or something like that. It was not very high. And like this year, it was I think like 21 billion. It was substantially higher.
5.9 billion in 2022. That's in comparison to the 2 billion profit in 2020 and the 11.3 billion profit in 2019.
Yeah,
it's about half of what it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, so it's a lot. There's a lot of money going on.
Let's see. Frequency of blah 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 blah. Okay.
That's an increase of 3
I'm
billion.
trying to
last
find.
year,
I can find box office revenue. You can't really judge like Hollywood's net profits because that's like
yeah,
how
it's
do you
hard to
measure
do.
that.
It's,
But box office profits, box office revenue has gone up. Not just for inflation.
Yeah.
It's about the same. It's actually gone down if you just for inflation. And then there's of course like the mega drop in 2020. But yeah, they should get paid to do there is no Hollywood without the writers. So like you've got to pay them to write the stuff. Actors are idiots.
you could replace any actor with
Actors don't know crap. They just do their job is to be really good at being told what to do. Writers
They don't even have to like Okay, hot take, flaming hot take, and I could be totally wrong.
You're not.
But you you really don't need to know how to act if you have a good enough director.
Yeah.
Because the director's job is to tell you what to do and tell you how to act. So if you're a phenomenal actor, but you are bad at understanding directions, you'll be a worse actor than some random guy who's really good at understanding directions.
The writer,
who is not necessarily
the writer
a good
tells
actor.
you what to do, and the director's going to tell you how to do it. And
All
the
you have to do
actor's
is
job
do it.
is to just do what they tell them.
Yeah,
That's why.
No offense, all actors. I
mean offense.
I am generalizing.
You're all idiots.
Heavily, but generally speaking, I think that is mostly true.
But yeah, they should be paid, and I don't think this will go on for extremely long. I think it'll probably go on as long as the last one did. This going all the way like through the summer movie season, like into like the fall and Christmas. That would be absurd.
This will definitely be.
I think this will
around for a
last
while.
about the summer. I think you'll see a lot of the network shows get delayed. Like your 911s, your Abbott Elementaries. Those will either get
those two have already.
those will either get like shortened episode counts, and then the streaming shows already don't release on a consistent basis.
They
So
kind of come out when they
if they're not ready, they'll just push it back. They don't really
just
care.
won't release them.
Stranger Things is taking 3-year breaks in between seasons, so it doesn't really matter how long they take to write the show. All right, Sam, you want to get into the 7 different trailers that came out
Let's
from
do
CinemaCon?
some trailers.
So the first one that came out was Dune. It's Doom. Doombus Dumbus.
I think Zendaya's going to have more than 5 minutes of screen time.
They said she does, and she's all over the poster and in the trailer.
Well, she was all over the posters and trailers last time.
That's true, but look, this is actually her.
All right,
so
we're back on Arrakis.
if you're noticing the aspect ratio is different from the last one, that's because he shot this entire movie. Every shot is in IMAX.
then why is it not in 4:3?
That's the IMAX aspect ratio.
IMAX I thought was 4:3.
No, that's Zack Snyder's version of IMAX.
No, but I thought that it was that because of IMAX.
Well, it is. It's like so the.
Oh, and Florence Pugh's.
Yeah, she's in it. Pause it. So, like the actual the in-camera capture of the IMAX frame is that 4:3. It's like a square.
Yeah.
And then they adjust it for like actual IMAX theaters because you would never blast
So the
a movie.
cameras are 4:3.
You would never blast a square movie on an IMAX screen.
Well, 4:3 is not a square.
And they purposely shoot it all so that there's the extra
the
headroom
action
so
is
that it
within
lines
that
up.
area.
Yeah. If you go and because Zack Snyder did shoot
He shot
Justice
in
League
IMAX,
in
I'm
IMAX.
pretty sure. Yeah.
But the footage that they use in the Joss Whedon cut is some of the same in-camera footage.
Well, and also not all of the.
So you can see where they adjusted the aspect ratio,
Yeah.
and it's just like the head. It's all the space that's like above the head
Remember
that they
in the
purposely
Joss
shoot
Whedon
extra space
cut
for so they can
when
cut it.
there's just a full-on shot of Wonder Woman's butt,
Remember the part where
and then also Batman's butt and Aquaman's
remember
butt.
when Ezra Miller falls on Wonder Woman's boobs?
Yes, and then they tried to get her to reshoot it, and she said she would walk
She
off.
said she wouldn't do the movie, so
she would actually.
they just got a random body double.
Cool, Joss.
Ezra
Whedon.
Miller was game though.
Well, Ezra Miller's game for a lot of things.
All right, let's go. Let's keep going.
We don't have time for all that.
So it's the game of can you remember what happened in Dune? So it looks like this one is going to revolve around our good friend Paul.
Okay, to be honest though, not a lot happened in the last Dune movie.
A good decent chunk happened.
His name's Paul, right? The main guy.
Paul Atreides.
Yeah, so he goes to Arrakis.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy blows it up.
So
And then he wanders around in the desert.
well, they do have to
and
take a lot of
meets
time explaining what's happening because Dune is unnecessarily complicated to the general audience.
But
probably
you
doesn't know what's
understand,
going on.
like, there's plot-wise, not a lot happens.
I mean, there's a decent amount.
They go
It's
there,
a lot of setup, yeah.
Snake guy blows them up. They
What's
go to the
snake
desert.
guy. Oh,
Gooey guy.
Gooey Man, yeah.
They go to the desert.
What's his name?
He meets Zendaya.
Baron
movie
Harkonnen.
over.
Yeah, big fat guy. Anyway, Florence Pugh's in
Pugh
this
again.
one.
There's who's he?
Josh Brolin's back. He was in the last one.
I thought didn't he die?
He runs into the battle and then we don't see him again. So he
maybe
presumably
he's
he
alive, I
survived.
guess, yeah.
That is
We're back on Goo.
that's Austin
World.
Butler.
Ooh, it's goo time, baby.
That's
gonna be the catchphrase for
okay.
the movie. They're gonna
By
say
the way,
it's goo time, baby.
can you go back, rewind? I want to go back to the Austin Butler shot. Austin Butler and Florence Pugh were the big additions for this one. That's Josh Brolin. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I could not tell.
that's Elvis.
He does not look.
He shaved his
recognizable.
head. They painted him white. apparently he's playing a gladiator.
His skin looks like rubber.
He's
He looks like silly.
He's the son of Dave Bautista's character.
He's the son of
or is he the son of the Goop Man?
Gooey Snake Man? Wait, didn't the Gooey Snake Man die?
He is. Oh, yeah, no. He's the. No, he's Dave Bautista's brother.
I think the Gooey Snake.
No,
Man
he
died. Someone.
No,
died.
Oscar Isaac tries to assassinate him and he survives.
He escapes.
He like almost gets poisoned and then he like goes back into his goop pit and he heals him.
Yeah, because Oscar Isaac has a poison tooth.
He tries to. Yeah. Oscar Isaac is not in this one because he's dead.
Poison tooth attack sounds like something like a D&D person with like makeup to screw.
Do you think
over
he's gonna? You know how he's been like trapped doing the Elvis voice, like he can't escape it in real life.
No.
Well, do you think he's gonna do the Elvis voice for this one?
I doubt it.
I think it'd be funny.
Maybe that's just how he talks.
I think it is now. I think he like started and now he can't get out of it.
Where is he from?
I think he's from like California.
Maybe
yeah, he's from Anaheim.
Maybe that's just how he talks. I don't know.
All
right, anyway.
Let's keep going. There's more of Arrakis. They got the tanks. It looks like a lot of this movie. Leah Seydoux in this movie now.
Did you see that orb?
Ooh, I think that might have just been water. It looks like a lot of this movie is going to be Paul training with the Sand People.
Well, yeah, that's what they led up to.
And then in part 3 will be the big war. Because Dune is like about the big war that he does and he becomes the evil one.
Yeah, Attack on Titans.
Yeah, he's gonna ride the big worm though.
Yeah, because he turns into
I'm hyped for more big worm though.
He turns into future space god or whatever.
Yeah, the poster's cool too. They released a new poster. It's got him holding a knife up in the air. Look at all this sand.
I like all the takes on Twitter where they're like, "We shouldn't be supporting this character. He's an evil colonist." It's like, yeah,
that's the whole point.
That's the point of the book. Idea.
Maybe if you would watch the movie before you freak out.
Finished reading the book, you would have realized that.
Or just like read the plot summary on Cliff Notes.
Clearly, you didn't. Maybe.
Yeah, I think this movie's gonna be big. I think.
I think HBO. Needs
I think he'll actually get.
Needs it to be big.
Ooh, look at all that. That's cool. Is that in black and white? Sick.
Oh.
That's one of his love interests. His other one is Florence Pugh.
I don't like that.
That's Timothy Chalamet.
I know.
Oh, you mean in real life? Oh,
it's a joke. Yes.
Look at all that. It looks so good.
Jesus now. Got a point.
Even if it's everyone is like, this is going to be the best movie ever made.
No.
Even if it's not, it'll be really pretty to look at.
It'll be really good. It'll be. Cool.
I think it'll be really good. I think
the first one was really good.
There's a good chance I would say that this wins an Oscar for something. And
yeah, no,
or that
it'll definitely win something.
Because Lord of the Rings was famously nominated for Best Picture for all 3, but they gave it to Return of the King because that was like the last one.
The big one, yeah.
So if, depending on how many of these they make, because this is like a prestige sci-fi thing, I think one of these could win Best Picture depending on how many they do.
Only good sci-fi?
Because there's like 15 Dune books.
Is this the only good sci-fi that's come out in like the last 20 years?
Like, huh?
What other good sci-fi stuff has come out?
Like in movies?
Yeah.
Well, they don't make a lot of straight up sci-fi movies anymore.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What do we even have to compare this to? Like Valeria and the City of a Thousand Planets?
Valerian. You got
John Carter.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That was before that.
I know, I'm saying, but that was like in the last 20 years. That was like 2009.
Yeah.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
I would argue Dune 1 is better than all the Star Trek movies in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that Dune is the best.
The best of the Kelvin movies is just like a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I like Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah,
I want them to make another Star Trek.
I didn't even bother
they just cannot get their crap together.
Because as much as I love Star Wars,
no, the Dune was better than most of the Star Wars.
Okay, maybe. Well, Andor's not a.
This is a pretty great cast. All right, we got Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, who's gonna make this a big movie.
Anything she's
every teenager in the world knows who Zendaya is, and they will all just do whatever she tells them. Rebecca Ferguson, she's back. That's Paul's mom. Josh Brolin is back. Austin Butler, Florence Pugh. Apparently, I saw a thing that Florence Pugh is the one who's in this for like barely any time at all.
Yeah, well, I heard jokes on Twitter that they were like, they're going to do the same thing to her that they did with
Yeah.
Zendaya.
Dave Bautista's back. He's the villain. Christopher Walken is in this. I think he plays Florence Pugh's dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Stephen Henderson is in this. Leah Seydoux, Stellan Skarsgård, Charlotte Rampling, Javier Bardem.
A lot of big names.
Javier Bardem plays the guy who leads the Sand People tribe from the first movie. And they're also still doing that spin-off show, maybe. They keep saying they're going to do the spin-off show. But
I think that's too expensive for them right now.
how much do you think? You think this will do better than the last one? Last one did about 400, and that was in 2021.
By default, this one gets to do better because COVID.
I think it will, yeah, because it's not on HBO Max day and date.
It's not day and date.
So all of the
COVID's not going on.
So all of the people who are in their 50s who actually read the book but refused to go to the movie theater to see it because it would require them getting up off their couch, they're going to actually have to go watch this one.
I think this movie is in a really unique position to make a ton of money.
Thank God Denis Villeneuve is going to make a movie that actually makes a profit.
A bunch of people saw Dune 1 who would not have otherwise seen it.
No, they didn't.
Because
it had Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet.
Because it had those two, and it was on HBO Max
because it was on HBO
for
Max.
free.
Yeah.
If you have HBO Max. This one isn't going to be on HBO Max day and date. So you're going to have to go see it. So there's going to be a bunch of people who are invested in this story now who would not have otherwise been invested if it wasn't released day and date.
Yeah.
And so I think that this could.
I'm also surprised
this could be a big boy.
How fast the turnaround was, because the last one came out 2 years ago, and they didn't start production on this one until.
When does this one come
after
out?
This comes out in November.
Okay. I was going to say I didn't put this on my. Hopefully it's not going to be.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Totally forgot.
You're okay. You're good. And
all
then
right,
they'll probably make.
What's the other trailer?
All right. Then we got the Flash. There was another Flash trailer. I don't think you really have to show that one. There wasn't a whole lot of new stuff in it.
I'll just pull it up if we. Which one?
It's the 8 days ago. Go up. That one.
8 days ago.
Yeah, we haven't done an episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's a lot of the same footage. It's like if the shots are a little bit extended and maybe in some parts, but also, it's not anything new.
Also in.
No, I think he just shot it in that aspect ratio. Look, it's the Bat Cave and it's dusty. Look, it's the Bat Wing.
Why is it slowly lower?
I don't know.
It seems not like an efficient way to do.
Why doesn't he just leave it on the platform?
Why is it so dusty too? Has he just not been using it? Clearly,
wait, pause.
Batman.
Who is that?
Batman.
Who has long gray hair like that though? Michael Keaton's basically bald. It ain't Michael Keaton.
Maybe.
You think Catwoman's in this? What if Michelle Pfeiffer's in this?
Maybe.
That would be cool.
I guess I would explain why she's in the Batcave. You think it could maybe Batgirl, maybe?
But old?
Like a different Batgirl than the Batgirl movie they were making?
No, I think any character of note in this movie is going to be played by an actor who's already played them. This is going to be cameo central.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I think it is. That's what everyone's saying.
The Catwoman actress wasn't blonde, was she?
Yeah. Well, no. She was. Yeah.
I haven't seen the.
What's her? Michelle Pfeiffer's blonde, or she's old now. She's got gray hair, but that's about the color of her hair. But who else would be in the Batcave other than
also,
Alfred's dead.
This costume looks the same as the BVS Apocalypse one.
I mean, he's got goggles.
Yeah, and he's also got
the hoodie cape, I guess. But I think they're all got the stiff. You can see that one's the traditional blue and gray over there.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying this one looks the same.
That one's like an armor. That one has
a scuba suit.
That one has guns. I guess he broke. I think that's probably a homage to the Thomas Wayne Batman.
Wait, why does that one?
Why does he have guns? Do you think Batman's going to be a murderer in this one again? I mean, Keaton Batman does murder a lot of people in those movies.
Not explicitly.
He sticks dynamite in a guy's pants and then pushes him off a building.
We don't know if he
and
died.
Then he explodes.
We don't know if that killed him.
And then Michael Keaton smiles, maniacally.
We don't know that for sure.
Why would he need so many different versions of the Batsuit?
Michael Keaton and Miller.
I do find it kind of ridiculous that you're just supposed to buy into the fact that this 68-year-old man is running around. Batman. And not just in the normal suit.
Okay. The Flashpoint aspect of this movie makes so little sense. Because if he goes to a universe where the only difference is she didn't die, and you're there's another you still there.
Barry Allen travels back in time to prevent his mother's murder, which traps him in an alternate reality without metahumans.
Yes, but so did he just expect his new alternate universe mom to just be like, "Oh, I have 2 kids now, okay"?
Well, I don't think he thought. I think what's probably going to happen is he's intending on changing his timeline,
and he accidentally
just goes to a one where she's already alive, and then he can't get out.
That's stupid. Oh, and then Batman's like, "Why are you trying to save this one? Like, you're not even from
you're not even from here."
And that's so. Does he know how many universes there are where his mom's alive?
Well, and presumably, if this is just the one he ended up in and he can't leave, like, what else is he gonna do?
Well, he can't. Why wouldn't he be able to leave?
It says he can't leave. Why? Well, I think because he's gonna start off not having the Speed Force anymore, and then he'll have to get it back.
But he runs around in the movie.
Yeah, well, that's after. But we see all the scene where he's getting struck by lightning again and stuff.
But he's lightninging through himself, I think, to give Other Barry.
I think Other Barry's gonna get powers through that, and then there's another shot where Supergirl's flying him up in the air. And they get struck by lightning again.
That's stupid. Anyway, okay. Wait, actually, yeah. Why not have this?
Why? I can't read.
Okay, it says around this too. Okay.
Ron Livingston was his father in this.
Turned on.
Not Billy Crudup.
I've never thought about that. I don't know why we.
What do you think of his suit?
It looks fine.
But that's obviously his people.
I've never really had a problem.
Honestly, okay. Pause. Are you a Flash suit with the lines or with the no lines? Because the whole line thing was like New 52.
I'm not a huge... Okay. It depends on a couple things. One, how did he get the suit? Because if he made it himself and it has lines, that's really dumb.
Especially if they light up, because it doesn't make any sense.
How did he get the money to do that? Why would he choose to do that? If Batman made it, okay, sure, it's like an Iron Man suit at that point. Whatever, that's fine. Whatever.
Which is the explanation for this one. This one that Batman did make.
I like the lines when the lines are lightning. Like, they are a result of him using his power. I'm not a super big fan of them as he just, like, thought it would be cool if he stuck lines on his suit. Like, I don't think that's...
I like the traditional one. I like it when it's just the plain red, and I like the gold boots and belt and tips on the lightning, and maybe...
Basically, the Flash... what was the Flash season where he had the fabric suit, but it was before he had the stupid helmet?
He had the first fabric suit he had was the stupid helmet.
When did they fix the helmet?
Like season 6 was the one.
Okay, that's the best Flash suit.
And then season 7 they gave him the boots. His current suit is that one. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good Flash suit.
I think that's the best Flash suit.
If they had given the gold boots to the season 4 suit,
that would have been perfect.
It would have been perfect.
Perfect suit.
And then I don't know why they got rid of the season 4 suit after one season.
I don't know why they gave him a bicycle.
And why they did that stupid one. I think it was because Grant Gustin
was tired.
Like, that was more comfortable.
Yeah.
But, like, it looked really terrible.
But then, okay, at that point, just don't have the helmet part of it. Like, just make it like a mask.
That's what Wally's suit is kind of like.
Yeah, do that. Well, no, because his is like, I'm not saying have the hair exposed, though. I'm saying just have it like a ski mask, basically, but with, like, Flash stuff on it.
Oh, well, that would look really dumb, though.
It would look less dumb than the bicycle helmet.
The bicycle helmet.
Because right now he's wearing a ski mask over a bicycle. That's way worse. Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Zod's back, baby.
Zod's coming, he's messing things up.
Who do you think didn't want to be in this more? General Zod, or Michael Shannon, or Michael Keaton?
Michael Shannon, for sure. I think Michael Keaton likes being...
Apparently Michael Shannon called Zack Snyder and was like, is it okay if I do this? And Zack went, sounds good, buddy.
And definitely did not.
He was so enthusiastic to do. I think he likes
being Batman.
I don't think he likes wearing the suit.
Okay, I'm sorry. But that is out of all the Flash suits, this is the worst one.
Well, okay, there's a reason.
I know there's a reason, but that does not help.
He's talking about there's the other Barry from this universe, and he's got like a goofy looking suit.
If Batman can make a cool suit like he did for this Barry, why did he make him this really stupid suit?
So
I'm gonna get them all standing.
So Barry already had our normal Barry, right, from DCEU timeline. That suit was made by Ben Affleck Batman in the primary timeline. That's in the prequel comic that's already out.
And this universe Batman does not.
This universe, it's Michael Keaton Batman. It's new Barry, and they're running out of time.
Well, who makes her suit?
She already has it, I think.
No, because remember, when they find her, she's like in a government prison.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know.
Doesn't Superman get his cape from the state?
It's already in the fortress. So if she just goes to the Fortress of Solitude, she just puts it on. But
okay, Batman couldn't like whip up a suit for him though.
Okay, if they're running out of time and it's 65-year-old Batman, Batman doesn't make any of his own crap. He's Alfred doing it. If Alfred's dead, he's just using the same crap.
You're telling me
he's using the same plane he's been using since 1992.
You're telling me he hasn't just gotten a new butler by now? A new guy to do that?
No. In Batman Beyond, Alfred dies and he's just like, I'll just get a dog.
No, but he still makes like a robot suit for his kid to use.
Yeah.
Do that.
Well, if they're running out of time, Zod's here. We gotta go. I guess it is just paint the bat suit red and let's move.
Even if that was the case, give him one of the Fortress of Solitude suits and put the Flash logo. That still would look better.
My guess is this would look, if you look at the bat suit, it's kind of like chunky and it's got like weird arrows and stuff on it. It's probably some like frictionless bat suit that he had. Because the whole reason the Flash wears the suit is that his clothes don't catch fire. So my guess is that
do you know whose suit
Batman already has that?
Frictionless because they
probably
also
Superman
can run super fast. Superman. You know who? You know where the Superman suit comes from? Same place she got it.
But my guess is that they weren't just like, hey, Supergirl, can you find one of the costumes in the Fortress of Solitude and just dig it up?
Hey, could you grab me one too?
Maybe it probably doesn't fit.
They're like magic. They like shrink to fit them. Remember?
No, they don't.
That's what it does in Man of Steel. He just goes in there and there's a suit like floating.
No,
on
it's like on the mannequin. He just takes it off and puts it on. It just happens to fit him.
Well, that one just happens to fit him.
Well, yeah, maybe it does. I don't know. Who cares?
I just don't like it.
The question is,
I think it looks
would you rather have the Supergirl outfit painted red with a lightning bolt spray painted over the Superman logo, or would you rather have the Batman suit painted red?
Honestly,
with
I would be more okay with Supergirl wearing a Batman suit that's like got the Superman logo.
No, I'm not saying the Supergirl suit painted is the Batman suit. I'm saying, would you rather the Flash suit be the Superman suit or the Flash suit be the Batman suit?
Okay, well, to answer that question, I raise you another question. Does this suit look more like that suit?
Uh-huh.
Or does that suit look more like that suit?
That suit looks more like that suit.
Yeah, so use that as the base thing.
I get what they're doing, though. It's a makeshift that's thrown together.
I understand why it looks like, like
he cuts the ears off. He's just going.
It looks like jank.
Like,
it's supposed to look that way.
Presumably Ben Affleck used his millions of dollars and took like a month to put that suit together. And Ben Affleck was just like, here's what's in my closet. We gotta go fight the government.
Yeah, dumb. Okay, anyway.
Let's keep going. On June 16th, Sam, that's your birthday. You love Batman.
I do like Batman.
This Batman film that they're masquerading as a
Flash. Okay, so oh, never mind.
Who do you think that is? Who do you think that is? This Batman. That's Ben Affleck Batman. Okay, speaking of suits, I do like Ben Affleck's suit.
I've always liked Ben Affleck's.
Go, pause. That was good. I like that it's blue and gray.
Hey, what the heck going on here?
I don't know. It looks like he's getting zapped.
Going on right now?
Oh, you think maybe he went into the world engine, like the big laser? Maybe that's what happens when you like go into the laser.
No, Superman does that though.
Does he? Is it just blue?
Yeah, it's just blue.
And maybe he's in the Speed Force. I don't know. It's
maybe he went into the thing, but he's not as strong as Superman, so it's like killing him.
It's killing him, frying him. Maybe.
Although hypothetically,
you can see he's like kind of floating. I think he's in the Speed Force. It doesn't look like he's
floating very high, though. Well, no, because his arms are restrained.
Oh, you know what? I bet you what's happening. I bet you he's having one of those classic Speed Force fights.
Oh, I don't think so. I think he's being restrained.
By the way, pretty much all but...
Yeah, because he's like stuck here.
Yeah.
His arms are like... he's grabbing onto something.
Yeah, he's trying to shut down that world engine thing. That's what's happening.
He's doing. Okay, anyway.
What did you do?
What did he do?
Explosions!
Batman. Oh, she threw a thing in his head.
She hits on in the face.
She's feeling sad.
Batman's cape is bulletproof.
The rest of his...
Apparently the Ben Affleck scene is just him stopping like some bank robbers.
Whoa, Batman flying now.
I do like that part.
Oh, geez, he's getting cooked alive.
Okay, okay. Pause, go back. Click, click, click. Bing, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this scene, pause. I think is the opening or the very end.
I think this is when he first gets to...
But why is there so much destruction going on?
That's the world engine thingy.
So you think this is the end of the movie?
No, because Zod gets there and immediately starts doing that.
Yeah.
And then I think that's going on.
He doesn't immediately start. He kind of like messes with Clark for a little bit and then he goes and does that.
Okay, but if Clark's not around to mess around with, he's
probably trying to go mess around with Carr, but if Carr's not there...
Yeah, but she's gone.
Yeah.
So I think Zod arrives at New York, starts blowing stuff up, and destroys New York. I think Barry tries to stop it, but I don't think he can. I think New York gets destroyed.
It's Metropolis. It's not New York.
It's New York. So
it's Metropolis
Metropolis
or Gotham.
Gets destroyed, and Gotham, which is a different city, even though they're right next to each other.
Across the bay.
Is like not destroyed somehow. And then he goes over to where Batman is. They team up.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
I think
I think he gets there and Zod's already attacked.
And he's already blown up.
Like he's right about to start.
Well, we see Zod getting there while he's there. Yeah, because he does the TV thing for Man of Steel.
Otherwise, Barry has no reason to go find Batman.
By the way, I do think it's really cool that they're going back to Man of Steel and like doing... That's really cool. I do like that.
Here's in my mind how this would work, all right?
I like Michael Shannon.
I'm just going to call it New Earth because I don't know what Earth this is. Barry gets to New Earth.
Well, this is Earth 89.
Barry gets to New Earth.
It's Earth 89.
I don't care. He gets to
It's in the TV shows.
He gets to the place he's at. And Zod is already there, and he's like, I'm taking over the world. And then Barry, like, he tries to find Superman. Superman's gone.
Ooh.
He tries to find Aquaman. Aquaman's gone. He goes and like tries to find all these guys. He eventually realizes, there's no metahumans. Oh no! So he thinks, who's not a metahuman?
But Batman.
He'll know what to do. Goes to find Batman.
Different Batman. Old Batman. Slightly older than other Batman.
It's other Batman, even though for some reason he's not surprised that he's Batman. Because in the trailer, he says, I'm Batman, and Barry seems rather unimpressed. But anyways.
Well, one of them faints and the other one's just like, yeah.
But the one who doesn't know that this is Batman is just randomly not impressed.
Well, why would you be impressed if you've seen Batman before?
Okay, anyway, this is going on.
Oh yeah, that's Batman. I do like I love the blue and gray. So this is straight out of Flashpoint.
Yeah, this is right out of Flashpoint.
Which makes he does think he doesn't have his powers.
But this is other Barry.
Well, keep going. No, it isn't. That's just shorter haircut. Shorter hair is normal. Longer hair is other Barry.
Because we see him get zapped in another scene, though.
I think, in Flashpoint it fails the first time. Yeah, and then he tries it again and it works.
Yeah, but he's strapped to the chair for that whole time.
Yeah, I think this is probably the first time and it fails.
But then why isn't he like super fried in the other?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I think Barry has his powers.
Well, maybe they just don't show him fried up.
I think he's like, well, I don't have the chemicals to remake me Flash. So they're going to zap old Barry in order to give new Barry power.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but it doesn't not make sense.
I think they're both going to get struck by lightning at some point and both have Speed Force powers, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot anyway.
In my brain, I'm thinking Supergirl carries old Barry into the sky.
Mm-hmm. He gets struck.
And then that lightning goes down and hits him. That's what I'm thinking.
Man, like they just he's like a conduit. He just gets
because if they don't have the chemicals that made it,
they do have different color.
Maybe the lightning has to go through him. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know.
They're both going to end up with Speed Force powers.
Yeah, we know
because spoiler alert: other Barry is going to be evil. He's going to turn evil. He's going to have to fight him. He's going to wear a different Flash outfit, and they're going to be evil Flash.
Totally going to be Savitar from season 4.
Yay, Savitar, my favorite villain.
Okay, anyway.
Why can't it just be Reverse Flash?
Yeah, see, they're already mad.
Yeah, okay. So there's a shot where New Barry is mad at our Barry because
he wants to murder.
He says nobody dies, and then apparently there's a TV spot or something where you see like a big jagged object stuck in his shoulder that they edited out for this trailer.
Weird.
And the Dark Flash action figure, which you've already seen, has like chunks of shards and stuff sticking in him. So it's him. It's definitely him. He's going to be bad.
So he's not Reverse Flash. He's Dark Flash.
He's Dark Flash. I think what's happening is Barry...
Does that make him Bright Flash?
So in the next shot, Michael Keaton like drops to his knees because like he failed. I think in this one, they do lose. Everything gets screwed up because the other Barry is from this planet. He's mad at this Barry because he jacked up...
somehow being responsible.
Because he basically killed everybody. And then that's why he turns evil, and he's going to spend the rest of his life going after Main Barry, because Main Barry escapes and goes to the new DC.
Me, Barry.
I like Reverse Flash.
I know
everyone criticizes the Flash TV show, and Reverse Flash is the villain of every season, every single time.
That's because he keeps dying.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that part of the Flash.
I like
it when it's like oh darn you, Reverse Flash, it's you again. Like I like that stuff.
I don't know. I thought I think like when he comes back like the fourth time, it's like, what is?
If you
even
just
the point?
accept the fact that he's
How are
immortal,
how are you even still around?
if
What are
you
we
just
doing?
accept the
right
fact
now?
that he's like an immortal ghost who just like possesses things,
Like, just
and
is
comes back.
obsessed with Barry
Yeah,
for no reason.
I don't mind it really at all.
Have you seen that one? Like
The finale starts today. Not like the series. It's a 4-part finale. So the first part's tonight.
I'm not gonna have time to catch up. And maybe
The last episode
maybe
was
when the
good.
Summer, maybe when the summer happens.
The last episode was the one with Green Arrow came back. It was actually a good episode. It was the first good episode of this final season of The Flash. It's the 9th one.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one like voice clip where it was like, "It was me, Barry, the first time you touched a woman." I used my super speed to make it seem like you nutted at a woman's touch. Have you seen that? Clip?
Yeah. They're editing the clips from the movie.
Anyway,
that's one of the Kryptonian guys. He's gonna blink the bat wing. 65-year-old Batman. He's gonna have to dive. I don't like that they put the Ben Affleck logo in there. Like he's gonna have anything to do in this movie.
Got to jump.
They're gonna jump into
Where's your parachute?
I don't got one. Isn't that an exact thing that they put in the Winter Soldier trailer?
Yes. Although he didn't have a cape.
Yeah, he just
Captain America just straight up jumped.
Well, he jumps into the ocean and it's fine.
Yeah,
he's Captain America.
Exactly.
They did screen this movie in full at CinemaCon, and apparently it's very good. That's what everyone's saying.
What are the do we have Rotten Tomatoes?
No, I mean no one's allowed to do reviews, but everyone's allowed to tweet about how much they loved it.
All right, well that's a good sign.
I mean, James Gunn keeps saying on Twitter that he thinks it's a great movie, and he did not say that about Shazam. So
well,
I don't know.
That's not really a hard line to cross.
He also didn't say it about Blue Beetle, so we'll see what happens.
Well, okay, Blue Beetle's farther out though.
Hunger Games. We don't care about that, so let's just not bother to pull that up. There was another Transformers trailer. The big thing in that was that Unicron.
Yeah, Unicron
is no longer Earth. In the Bay movies, Unicron was in Earth. It's no longer in Earth, and apparently this new trilogy is going to focus on Unicron.
Well, Unicron was never supposed to. Unicron was never supposed to be in Earth. That was something that they made up.
No, yeah, they put that in the Bay movies.
That they then did much better. Okay, every idea that they introduce in the Bay movies, they just did infinitely better in Transformers Prime.
Transformers Prime is good. The problem with Transformers Prime is the animation has not aged well at all.
It aged about as well as Transformers Beast Wars, yes. Which has aged even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So Unicron was originally just the moon of Cybertron, like the actual moon that orbited it. Then they changed the continuity so that he was Earth for some reason, which is why there was so much Energon on
Which
Earth.
was the big twist in the 5th one?
One of them.
And
so I haven't seen the new movie. I don't know what they do about it in that. But in Transformers Prime, they go in there and they use the Matrix of Leadership to make him go to sleep or something.
But Unicron's bad and he's here.
But yeah, Unicron's the Transformers equivalent of Galactus.
Yeah.
He straight up just planets.
There was a trailer for Next Goal Wins, which is Taika Waititi's next movie. It's about a soccer team. It looks fine. People were harping on it because everyone hates Taika Waititi now because he made that one movie they don't like.
That's stupid.
But
he made other good movies.
He's also written a movie that won an Oscar.
He's made other good movies.
So, and
you watch something other than Marvel movies, please.
Yes, please do. I think this will be good. It looks fun.
It'll probably be fine.
Equalizer 3. It looks like more Equalizer. I was like,
I don't care about Equalizer.
Does anybody care about this? But apparently the second one made more than the first one. Well, yeah. Although by not a whole lot. It was also 5 years ago that movie came out.
I don't care about
Then there was a trailer for Gran Turismo.
Oh, that we gotta play.
Did you watch?
I watched the Gran Turismo.
Oh, you did?
Trailer.
I didn't know if anything happened. I assumed it was just people racing cars.
You know the tagline of the movie?
Yeah, from gamer to racer.
That's the plot.
What?
That's the plot of the movie.
He's a gamer, and
he is a Gran Turismo gamer champion.
Oh, he's literally playing the video game Gran Turismo. He
plays the video game, and he's so darn good at the video game.
That's the Hansu.
That he gets recruited by an F1 team or whatever.
What am I watching right now?
To race the car. His dad's like, you can't be a race car driver. We're poor. And then
you have to play Gran Turismo on your PlayStation.
You're gonna work in the mines, and then PlayStation's like, we're gonna send you to we're going to send you to Gran Turismo Academy, which is...
There's a thing!
It is here, which apparently this movie is also based on a true story, which I did not know.
It's not. That is not true.
And so they take the best Gran Turismo players and they have them make a racing team. And Harbor's got to teach them to be race car drivers.
The old man who was not alive when
And
who was 30 years old when Gran Turismo came out.
Captions are not available. That sucks. Okay, but there's a line where he's like, "You expect me to turn a bunch of skinny gamers into race car drivers?" Like that's like actually in the trailer.
Why?
And there's one point where he's like, "I know it's the first time you guys have been outside, but we gotta run."
Oh, stop it!
I'm not. This is all.
Why do the movies that are
this is real?
Why do video game movies always feel the need to like insult their primary audience? Why come every video game movie is like gamers are nothing but a bunch of gross,
he has
filthy nerds?
He has them work out, and he's like, "You're a bunch of nerds. You can't run. You nerd."
I like how this movie is for people who play the game, but they're like people who play the game, terrible losers who don't go outside and can't talk to women. Like it's just insulting the primary audience.
I don't get that.
Also, playing Gran Turismo does not like amount to actual ability to drive a car. Why did Neil Blomkamp do this?
Don't know. Why would anyone do this?
Why did PlayStation think this was a good idea?
Why would anyone...
I mean, granted, what else do you do with the Gran Turismo movie?
Nothing. Adapt a different game.
You can also just not make Gran Turismo.
This makes no sense at all. This is not something that adapts to anything other than a video game. This is like making a Microsoft Flight Simulator game.
It's a racing sim. That's it.
This is actually the equivalent.
Also, nobody plays Gran Turismo. I don't know if I brought that up yet. I mentioned this to someone, and they didn't know what it was in general. So, nobody knows what Gran Turismo is. It doesn't have a lot of brand recognition.
This is quite literally, if you were to make a movie called Microsoft Flight Simulator about a kid
who got
who's
so
really good at Microsoft Flight Simulator that he becomes like an ace pilot for the U.S. Air Force.
The last one only sold 4 million units in the U.S.
That's a lot.
For a PlayStation game? Flagship PlayStation game adapted into film? That is not enough.
Well, but only like 5 games.
This is not going to make money. I'm telling you that now, Sony.
Oh, no, this will make $0.
Sony, this was a bad idea. I'm telling you that
this
now.
Is a dumb.
Why did you do this?
Dumb idea. Again, Sony.
Boys.
Oh, guys.
Stop! You can't keep screwing up this bad.
What is the matter with you?
How do you still have money?
How do you make The Last of Us the best video game adaptation?
They didn't make The Last of Us.
But they own the IP.
They own the IP
either. That's what
they didn't even do the TV show. HBO did the TV show.
How do you go from arguably the best video game adaptation of all time to this?
Because Sony made this and HBO made The Last of Us.
How come anytime Sony tries to make something out of its own properties, it's the worst thing ever, but when someone else is given a Sony property, it's really good?
I mean, they did Uncharted, and that was bad.
That was bad, but Spider-Man is good.
Sometimes.
Last of Us was good.
Yes. That's it.
Well, name something Sony has made with their own IPs that was good in the last 5 years.
Kinda Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters was, like, forgettable. But
Afterlife
was awful.
Yeah, it was not awful. Morbius?
It's not.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage?
Did that make money?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the only
There are people who are fans of the Venom movies.
That's just because people like Venom, because it's like, oh, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not because, like, they
Why
actually
do people like
movie.
Venom? People have liked Venom since the 90s. I don't understand it.
Because he's a cool-looking character.
He's just...
People like Venom for the same reason people like Boba Fett.
Like, yeah,
he
that's
just looks
true.
cool. So people assume that it is cool.
He's cool and mysterious.
So he's the coolest.
Let's give him 85 hours of backstory.
It's the exact same situation.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, what's next?
Sam, that's the news of the week. Now, we're getting into the summer. It's getting nice and toasty in this back room where we record all of our stuff. I can't wait for it to be 100 degrees.
Not that hot.
It's not right now. It's because we're filming this at like 9 p.m. But trust me, in a month, it's going to get real bad. But where it's getting into the summer, There's a bunch of big blockbusters. There's a bunch of big blockbusters.
There's a bunch of big blockbusters. What is going on?
Ooh, we've been Atari.
We've been downscaled.
Oof.
What is that? The way that the video actually is?
Cares?
No, it's at 144. It's at 144p right now.
I like this. It looks like an Atari game.
What? Okay, they can't even see it on. You guys can't see it on camera because it always looks blown out.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Goofy to us.
So me and Sam have compiled our lists of what we believe will be the 10 highest grossing films. I was doing this domestically because it's hard to do international because there's like a bunch of like Chinese movies.
I just thought what will make the most money.
Sam, I don't think it'll really affect it that much because we're both just looking at American films. But we've compiled our list. We've got it from 10 to 1. What we think will be the most successful films of the summer out of all the big movies coming out, and then. At the end of the summer, when we come back in September,
we'll just see how
we will look at how we did. Did all of our movies make it in? If they did make it in, where's their placement correct on the list?
Should we have like a prize for whoever gets the closest?
We can figure that out later. We got like 3 months.
Yeah.
So we're counting.
People will care if we up the stakes.
So what? Ooh, that's true.
We'll put a $20 McDonald's gift card on the line.
Sure, $20 McDonald's gift card. All right, so that's whatever. We'll figure something.
There's something that's going to be on the line.
Something's going to happen. We didn't think this through. Basically, what we're counting is it's the first weekend in May to the last weekend in August. It used to be people saw the summer movie seasons like Memorial Day through Labor Day, but then Marvel put all their stuff out the first week of May, and that's just kind of
it kind of jacked up the whole system.
That's just kind of where we start now. So basically, the first movie of the summer is we're counting is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The last one that we're counting is Equalizer 3 that comes out in September.
Which I did not even know. I did not.
But that's fine. It's not going to
make it.
All right. So Sam, why don't you start us off? Tell me what your number 10 on your list is.
My number 10 is The Marvels.
Okay, that comes out in November.
Well, it's on the summer list because we haven't updated it.
That's true. Let me look at. Well, I don't want to look at it.
Yeah. All right, I'll pick a different. You do your number 10. I'll pick a different one. I'll be back.
There's 3 movies. Go to Wikipedia and find a list that's updated. But there's 3 movies in this summer that I think have a very important factor in financial success, and I call it the dad factor. Okay, there's 3. The first of them is Oppenheimer, which is my number 10 movie for most profitable movies of the summer. Okay, Let me talk you through why. All right. I've heard at least 2 people, normies, talking about this movie, okay? Which is not normal for a movie that comes out in like 3 months. You get the normies talking, you already know it's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
You get the normies talking like in advance, like well in advance. That's signs of a really big hit.
All about Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Oh,
it's Christopher Nolan, right?
Yeah.
Back, if you ignore Tenet, which was in 2020. If you go back to Dunkirk in 2017, that was like the top 5 highest grossing movies of that summer.
Yeah.
So he's proven he can do this. It's got all the big stars you can think of. It's got the World War II people be loving history stuff, especially like middle-aged men. And it's got that magic factor where it's going to attract the dad audience. And when we looked at last summer, we looked at Top Gun Maverick. That largely managed to be that successful because it just attracted every single dad in the United States of America to a movie theater to watch it.
All right, I got an updated pick.
If Oppenheimer can get a quarter of that audience, I think it's going to be big enough to crack.
So you have that for your number 10.
Yeah.
All right. So I've changed my number 10. I'm putting Elemental for 10.
Okay, Elemental. That's a little low, I would think.
For 10, my thought process is like it's going to be big, but it's going to be like the lowest of the big guys. I have not heard a lot of hype about Elemental.
No,
most of the conversation I've heard about it is people going, "Oh, that looks stupid," and that's fine. Sure, it does look stupid. I agree. But there are not a lot of little kid movies coming out this summer.
That's true. I was looking at that.
Not a lot of family movies.
Yeah.
Elemental's Pixar. Pixar's the family
It's
movie
a
company.
proven commodity.
They are the guys for family movies.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of parents, and especially during the summer, parents are stuck with their kids all day.
They need something to babysit.
They want a break. They want to bop their kids off at the theater and go go get
I
a
have
drink for a minute.
Elemental on my list. I have it a little bit higher.
Yeah, same with Oppenheimer. I think it's going to be higher, too.
I have Barbie at number 9, which comes out the same day as Oppenheimer. I do think Barbie is going to make more than Oppenheimer does. I think Oppenheimer's also rated R, which I think is going to not help it. But I have Barbie at number 9. I would have it higher because there's also a lot of, especially on internet.
There's a lot of hype.
There's a lot of talk about Barbie, and I've heard some talk about Barbie.
I've heard a lot of normies talking about Barbie.
With normies. Apparently, but according to chatter about like the actual movie, it is hyper political. So I think it'll have a big opening weekend because a lot of people will be interested in Barbie. Yeah. I think you will see a massive drop off after that because I think the chatter on the internet will become so toxic because of people fighting on Twitter. Because I think it will deter people from.
Sometimes that means, I got to see it because I got to have a take.
That's true, but also this is Barbie, and if it's too political, it's not going to appeal to kids. And if it's not going to appeal to kids, that is going to severely damage its box office.
Yeah, because it's a kids movie.
So if it's just the political examination of modern feminism.
Which is what it's
rumored to be. And judging by who's making it, that sounds correct.
Would be, that would make sense.
It'll crack the top 10, but I think it'll have terrible legs. It'll have a big start, and it will fall off.
All right, I'll give my opinions on it when we get to where
if it's better, I think it'll be able to climb a little bit higher. But for now, I think it's going to sit there, based on what we're hearing about the movie itself.
Okay, before I give mine, I'm going to pause it because I got OP. Okay, we're back.
Hey,
all right, so I'm gonna give my
number 9 on Sam's
number
list.
9 pick. I put The Flash at number 9.
All the way at 9. That's really low.
I think that this movie will poop itself real.
Okay, you think it's gonna be bad, or you think it just won't make any money, or both?
I think it's going to. I think it's too complicated for people to care.
I don't think that's true, though. I think people are generally.
I've heard way more people talk about the Barbie movie than I have the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I don't think people are... I think people get the multiverse. I think that's a mainstream concept.
It's not the multiverse. It's the convolutedness of the DC universe that people don't understand.
Like whether or not this is canon or not.
Like why Batman's in this movie, even though we got a Batman movie last year, and it's a different Batman, but not the different Batman at the beginning of the movie. A different Batman who's not different because he's actually from the 80s. And then we have the Flash and a different Flash who's not the Flash, but is the Flash. And he didn't go back in time. He went to a different universe, but he was trying to go back in time. That is way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
I don't know. You have it at 9. I have it. We have very opposing views of what we think this movie's going to do. But I think it's got a primo release date on June 16th. I think number 9 is pretty low, especially compared to like what else is I have is higher. I don't know what you have is higher.
Look at what we just had with Shazam. Like that was the last DC movie that came out. That bombed atrociously.
That's true, but I think
now to be fair,
it's definitely going to do better.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to do better than Shazam. Yeah. I'm not saying that I think they're going to do comparable, but I think DC's reputation is in the trash right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think this movie is going to be enough to fix it.
Do you think that when James Gunn universe actually properly starts, there will be an audience re-engagement, or do you think people have just checked out from DC entirely?
I think people will re-engage when Superman Legacy comes
out.
I don't think this movie is enough to get people back in.
Okay. I'll get to my points later. At number 8, I have Elemental. I didn't want to put it too high because Pixar movies... The last one was Lightyear, and that did not do well. But that was also, like, weird and sad. And talk about a movie no one understood. No one knew what Lightyear was.
Yeah, because it was, like, really bad.
It was hard to... Well, it's hard to explain the concept of what it is.
The concept was too confusing for kids, who's the main audience. Buzz Lightyear just wasn't Buzz Lightyear.
It was a different voice. It was a different characterization. It was so sad.
The only 2 pieces of Buzz lore that we had,
they eliminated.
They completely ignored.
Yeah.
And the movie wasn't about Buzz. Buzz is a space ranger. He's supposed to explore.
No, but he hangs out on one planet the entire time.
The whole concept of Buzz Lightyear is he's an explorer.
That movie has a lot of problems, But if they had just put a little scene at the beginning where we watch little boy Andy take Woody with him to the movie theater, right? And you can have a little Tom Hanks cameo. And you just sit down and he sits in the theater and then the movie starts and you see that, $10 million more would have gotten.
He can't bring Woody with him though, because he doesn't know what Buzz is.
That's fine.
That's a canon.
Who cares? But like, if they had just put that at the start,
that would have fixed so much.
It would have fixed a lot of issues with the audience not understanding.
Instead of that like 3 lines of text that
that just opens it.
This is the movie that Andy likes.
Andy watched this one in 1995. All right, here's the Lightyear movie.
Like, what are you talking about right now?
But I was looking I looked at a lot of old summer box office charts from like pre-COVID, right? And every top 10 at least had like one big animated movie. So I was looking at the chart and there's really like 2. And
there's only 2.
This is Pixar. It doesn't have any big stars, which I think is going to hurt it.
And it's not an IP. It's new.
It's new. It's also opening the same weekend as The Flash. So I don't. It could be a hit. It could not.
I think those are counter-programmed enough to.
I honestly don't know, but there's at least one animated movie is going to squeak in here, and I'm guessing that it's going to be Pixar. The real question is, did Disney train all parents to just no longer see Pixar movies in theater and just watch them on Disney Plus?
Yeah. I think this will be Pixar's return to theaters, like proper return to theaters. I don't think Lightyear
If Lightyear had been good, it would have been Lightyear. The problem is they returned with Lightyear, and Lightyear was way too expensive and very bad.
Very much not a good movie.
All right, what do you have for number 8?
For number 8, I picked Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
So, like you were talking about earlier, we got the dad factor.
This is the other dad factor.
Is on.
Yeah.
Lock. Tom Cruise is big boy mode right now.
He's the biggest movie star on the planet.
He's the top guy.
Yeah.
He was in Top Gun, and that shot him straight to being top guy. You want him in your movie? Everyone saw Top Gun.
They got it right.
For reasons I will never understand.
His biography has to be called From Top Gun to Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick blew up.
Was a cultural phenomenon.
For reasons that I will never understand why that movie blew up as much. It did way better than the original.
If you don't live in the United States, I don't think it was as big there. But literally here, everyone in the entire country just went to go see Top Gun Maverick. Everybody just did.
I don't know if maybe it's the result of like America being like heavily propagandized largely by the military-industrial complex. Maybe that's related. I don't know. I'm not saying it was bad. It was a good movie. I don't understand why it blew up as big as it did. That said, that whole movie is just an excuse for Tom Cruise to look cool. And this movie only exists so Tom Cruise can look cool. I'm thinking, now this doesn't have the Air Force, which is a little bit of a...
That's true. It's losing that right-wing military support. We gotta get the commies, yeah.
Yeah, but I think... Oh, okay, actually no, because he's a spy, right? It was for the CIA or whatever. That's like basically the same. So yeah, you're good. You're good to go. Let's go for it.
But MI6 is like constantly filled with corrupt agents.
Well...
And everyone, the conservatives love Top Gun because it was the military's cool and hip.
The woman who ran the CIA prison Alcatraz burned 90 boxes of documents when they were being audited, but she did do that. So, all
right, you got
anyway.
So I'm also higher on Mission Impossible, but I do think that movie is going to be largely carried by. He's straight off Top Gun, and that was
straight off Top Gun, going straight into another big. It's a big IP. Right. It has, I would say, way more legs to stand on than Top Gun.
Now, the last one didn't do. None of the Mission Impossible movies have ever done huge money. They've always been very critically acclaimed.
But I think this one,
the last one. Let me see if I can find a domestic gross. It did about 220 in the United States. The last one did.
I think this one...
It'll do substantially more. I mean, Top Gun did like 700 million.
I think this one's 400 million easy.
Even if it's just half of that, that's still going to break
easy,
like 350, 400. Okay, next one up for me, I have...
number 7.
My number 7, I have The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Okay. I think this has the potential to be the number one movie.
I put it much higher on my list.
I think the thing holding it back is it's definitely going to be terrible, and it's going to be extraordinarily divisive.
It's true.
And I think that is going to be the big thing that draws it back.
But
the big remakes have always been giant money makers.
Absolutely.
But none of them have ever had the whole identity politics fight before.
Yeah.
So the Beauty and the Beast had like LeFou was gay, but that wasn't really a thing.
That wasn't
even in the movie. But like this is it's Ariel is playing by an African American actress, and it's on the poster. So I think it's going to be way more divisive, but it's the Little Mermaid.
It's a big name.
It's a big name, but also it could be so bad. And if it's very bad, I think it will hurt its box office.
And again, we talked earlier, there's not a lot of kid movies coming out.
There's not a lot, which will help it, because this, especially, it'll have like, I don't know, it'll have like a good, like 2 weeks maybe to go unopposed.
It's on its own for a minute.
Yeah.
Because until Elemental comes out, it's riding solo.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, my number 7, I put Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
My number 7.
All right.
So, I think Indiana Jones has been gone for a big while now.
It's been, let's see, the last one was 2008. Been about 15 years?
In a minute. There's a whole generation of kids who grew up with no Indiana Jones.
That's true. But there was really a generation in between that who didn't really have it either.
Yeah. So Indiana Jones does not have...
Last Crusade came out in, I want to say, 88.
Yeah.
And so there was 20 years in between.
Indiana Jones does not have a huge... Not nearly as big of a cult following.
It's not a cult following. I mean,
not as big of a following as like
there are
Star Wars.
I think generally there are a lot of people who are fans of Indiana Jones. There are not Indiana Jones fans, as in like Star Wars fans talk about Star Wars all the time, and they seek out Star Wars.
They live Star Wars.
Indiana Jones fans, they just watch it and enjoy Indiana Jones. No, they don't live it because you really can't. There's 4 movies.
Star Wars fans want to live in Star Wars.
They would like to be Jedi.
No one wants to be fighting Nazis.
Yeah. Well,
they would prefer to not be having to do that.
Yes.
I'm not saying we shouldn't fight them. I'm saying preferably I would want to exist in a time where there are no Nazis to fight. That's what I think. All right. Yeah, so I think Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, I think 7. I don't think it's going to be a super big blockbuster. I don't see it breaking the top 5. I think there's a lot of other stuff coming out that has a lot more hype behind it. Every time I hear someone talking about Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, they're going, huh? Making an Indiana Jones movie?
Yeah.
What? Wait, what? Wait, Harrison Ford's alive? Huh? Like, I never hear anyone hyping it up. I only ever hear people saying they're surprised that it's being made.
Okay.
So for that reason, I don't think it's going to break the top 5.
This is going to be a conversation later, but we'll get to it in a minute. But I have number 6. I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
6 or 7?
I have it at 6.
Are we on 6?
Yeah.
Okay, I also put it at 6.
Oh, well, we're lined up. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think this is top dog for the anime.
It was just announced today that it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Give me more.
I think that'll hurt it a little bit, because long kids movies generally don't do well because they have short attention spans. However, the first one didn't make a lot of money. It won a bunch of awards.
Also, no one knew who Miles Morales was.
But it was also on Netflix forever, and it was in the top 10 on Netflix like every week.
It's been in the top 10 on Netflix almost
when it was on Netflix. It was always in the top 10. I think it's built a giant not a lot of people saw it when it came out. A lot of people have seen it now because it was on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's changed animation. And like the whole animation industry.
And the trailers have been amazing. It's got people are loving Spider-Man right now. We're just off No Way Home. It's got amazing animation. I think
Gwen and Miles have both been much
adapted
bigger characters in the cultural.
They have culturally osmosis into the general populace. They have been
fully accepted as valid versions of Spider-Man, which the first Spider-Verse, that was not the case.
No.
Some people knew Miles Morales existed. Most people didn't like him.
Yeah.
For a lot of... Most of that was like, oh, they made a black Spider-Man. Everyone was J. Jonah Jamesoning Miles Morales. But I think after Spider-Verse came out, people saw that character represented in a, I would argue, much better way than the comics did. I think the movie did a way better job with Miles' origin story than the comics did.
I think it's got a better release date.
It's got a better release date.
It's got people are generally more familiar with the concept of the multiverse in large part from No Way Home.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get the comic book fans. It's going to get the family audience. I think it's going to get pretty much everybody. I mean, I even saw like Ben Shapiro like Into the Spider-Verse. So I feel like it's going to be big. My question is, does it being animated hold it back from being as big as some of the larger comic book films?
That is the only reason I put it this low. It's because it's animated.
If it's as good as everyone's saying it is,
which I have no doubt it will be,
and it was live action, it would be number one. But because it's animated, I think that stops a lot of the old people who think that all cartoons are for babies from going to see it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I guess since we both had 6, I'll go to my number 5. My number 5 is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
So I had it a little bit higher just because I thought this is another dad thing. I think Tom Cruise is so big, especially in the United States. I feel like it's going to ride pretty high. I think the last one came out in 2018. Mission Impossible is number 7 in 2018, the last one. So I think larger audience, they do a big marketing campaign. I think it can definitely move up those 2 spots to number 5. That's my number 5. What do you have for number 5?
My number 5, I put Oppenheimer.
Okay, you put it high. That's high for Oppenheimer.
I think that this movie has the chance to pop off. All right, we got Christopher Nolan, who we had Tenet. That was during COVID. That doesn't really count. And that wasn't just during COVID.
That was like August of 2020.
Middle of the freaking war zone for
the most a theater was open was taking like 25% capacity.
Yeah, like even we didn't go see it. We saw like every movie during the pandemic.
Taking proper precautions.
We wore masks, and Cinemark said they sanitized us.
We did not cough on everybody. We waited until 2021 to cough on everybody.
Also, there was no one else in the theater.
No, we were the only ones in there.
We were the only people there. So, what was I saying? Right. I think it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Everyone I know has at least heard of it and wants to see it.
Yeah. Again, I've heard a lot of legitimate interest, especially this early is really, really strange.
All my guy friends want to see it.
Yeah.
Even my friends that are girls are like, hey, what's this Oppenheimer movie about? Which, like, normally the girls that I know at least don't care about movies that much. Even they're like, hey, what's going on with Oppenheimer? I'm like, oh, it's da-da-da. And they're like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. Like, they're excited. Like, even like my, older friends at work, like they're like, oh, hey, Oppenheimer looks cool. I'm excited to see that. Like everyone that is even remotely aware of like movies is excited for Oppenheimer.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's great that Christopher Nolan is legitimately like a brand onto himself.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
No, I don't even think it's funny. I think it's great that there is even after all this time, there is still a filmmaker who people will go up to see. He is like the only one. It's like him and Tarantino, who will like people will go see that movie because it's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Well, and Wes Anderson and Zack
Snyder.
But
that's not.
Zack Snyder's definitely on that.
But also all of his movies are on Netflix now, so no one has to pay to see them anymore.
They're not good. No offense to Zack Snyder. I don't like his movies. But he has that.
People pay to see Nolan, and they know that you have to watch a Nolan movie on the big screen
because everyone's going to be talking.
Yeah. About it. So I do think Oppenheimer is going to do well. 5, I think, is pretty high, but I think it's going to do well.
I think because it's bottom of top 5. I think that is right where it belongs.
So number 4 is I have to put it on here because it's stupid not to. It's Fast X. It's going to do a lot of money. It's Fast and Furious. It's the 10th one. They got a bunch of people. They're bringing everybody back.
Brie Larson's there.
Brie Larson's here. Jason Momoa. There's cars exploding. John Cena's back.
John Cena's there. The Rock. Hey,
The Rock is not in it.
You don't know that.
Maybe he's got a cameo. I don't know. Oh, no, he doesn't. It's that thing where it's inevitable that it's going to be on there, regardless of whether or not you want it to be.
Yeah. So for my number 4, this is where I put The Little Mermaid. I put Little Mermaid at number 4.
You put it at number. That's right.
Because like I said, it's riding solo for like the whole first half of the summer for the most part in terms of like family movies.
I'm looking at the summer. You got you got The Little Mermaid, and then the week after Little Mermaid is Spider-Man, and then you got 2 weeks until Elemental.
I'm talking little kids.
And then there's really nothing for July and August. So I think, well, August has Turtles, but really the whole month of July is cleared out of family movies. So I think the family movie that does the best is going to be the one that has the best legs, that's able to get those repeat viewings and play throughout the month of July and just kind of stretch it out longer than the other two are.
Yeah. I think Little Mermaid has tremendous brand power.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. Whether or not that's for good reason.
It's positive. It's talk.
There's a lot of people talking about it. It's made headlines repeatedly on news networks. People are talking about the movie.
Yeah.
And that alone is going to get a lot of people to go see it. Even if they only go see it because they want to criticize it. They're still going to get a lot of people in seats. A lot of people that would have otherwise totally skipped it. Like, if you're a 30-year-old guy who you just do your desk job, maybe you have kids, maybe you don't, whatever. But you're into politics. You will go see the movie regardless of whether or not you have kids, because you want to have a take on it, even if you don't care about the movie. If it had been a different if the casting had been different, you would have otherwise just not cared. You would have just not been remotely interested at all. So I think that's gonna play a part in it. Otherwise, I think it's just it's a massive family movie. The Little Mermaid's had 30 years to resonate culturally with people. It's a huge brand, Disney staple. The Disney remakes always make $1 billion. It's inevitable that this makes a butt.
I mean, money. Lion King, that remake was in 2019. That was #1 at the summer box office that year. Sorry. 2018, there wasn't one, but Incredibles 2, that was another family movie. 2017, there wasn't another one, but when they are out, they make big money.
Hit hard.
Yeah. All right. My number 3, we're getting to the top 3 now. I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at number 3. So I think the RT score is lower than I think it was expected. Right now it's looking to open around 120, which is about 20 less than Volume 2 even opened to. I do think there's a lot of ill will towards Marvel because Quantumania was so terrible.
It was so bad.
I also think if this comes out and the audience response is really positive, I think you'll see a big boost.
Yeah, I think
it's also got the Marvel brand that's going to extend it past Mission Impossible.
That puts it in top 5 by default.
Yeah, it's going to do at least Marvel money. It's going to at least
ignore the fact I put Marvel's at 10, but that puts it in the top 5 by default.
It's going to make at least, I think, $700 million globally.
Yeah, easily.
I can pull up, see what Guardians 2 did, about 389 domestic. Even if it matches that, definitely in top 3. But I think it's depending on what the audience reception is going to determine how well that does in terms of how high it can go. If the audience response is really negative, I think you could see it drop all the way to number 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think. Again, mine.
We haven't seen it yet.
So
We're seeing it tomorrow.
I'll talk about it when we get to it on my list. I have lots of thoughts on. For my number 3, I have Barbie.
Okay, you have Barbie high.
I think Barbie is going to make stupid money.
Okay.
I think Barbie's going to make money that money hasn't even made before.
Okay.
I think it's going to print money. All right, you got Margot Robbie. And I'm not talking Wolf of Wall Street Margot Robbie. I'm talking Harley Quinn Margot Robbie. She's a big name right now.
I don't know. Margot Robbie's a big name, but she has not made a lot of hit movies.
Who do you think wouldn't go see a Barbie movie?
Young dudes.
Who do you think will go see a Margot Robbie movie?
Young dudes who like to stare at Margot Robbie.
There we go. So boom, that doubles your audience right away just by merit of having her in the movie.
But not only that, but Ryan Gosling is getting a lot of hype as Ken. I think that will help bring in the male demographic.
Yeah, the general talk around the movie has been overwhelmingly positive.
It was thrown around as the best script ever written in Hollywood for 5 years.
People on Twitter, every single time anything related to the movie is released,
There's
people
already
go crazy.
It's already got memes. They're taking the poster. They're doing a meme.
It already has memes. It already has a cult following. It hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah.
People are going nuts for this movie. And then there's the biggest thing. It says Barbie on it. That is, by far and away, other than maybe Lego, the biggest, like, girl's toy ever to
I don't know,
exist.
but do you hear a lot of people talking about Barbies or really
You
like
talk to a lot of 6-year-old girls?
do you see like big like Barbie marketing campaigns or stuff like
Yeah.
that anymore?
There was one like earlier this week.
I'm just wondering. I mean,
you might have seen, you might not have.
oh
seen.
yeah, well that was another thing about people on the internet yelling at each other.
But my point is, Barbie's still here. Like, the fact that they did that at all, it was only
Yeah.
big talk because Barbie
Yeah.
is such a cultural staple in American media. Like, Barbie single-handedly defined, like, actually altered beauty standards. It's a children's toy. That doesn't happen. Children's toys aren't supposed to alter beauty standards. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, the cultural power of Barbie is ridiculously high.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if there is a toy brand, again, other than maybe Lego, that can really compete with the kind of cultural power that Barbie has.
Yeah.
And I think that like brand power,
yeah.
talk, and casting are
I think
really going to launch
regardless
this movie
of how good the talk is, I think this is more than a lot of the other movies. People will show up just to check out to see what it's like.
Exactly.
It's curious.
This movie is going to pop off for the same reason the Lego movie did.
Okay.
It's the most popular toy.
Yeah.
It has a lot of things to say about the modern day political climate, even though it's about toys. And it's got a great cast.
Yeah, the cast is amazing.
I think
Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Kate McKinnon, Dua Lipa, Issa Rae, Simu Liu, Michael Cera.
I think we're
Will
looking.
Ferrell.
I think we're and Will Ferrell plays President Business
Yeah.
in both movies.
That's
people,
kind of funny.
I think people have not made enough comparisons between this and the Lego movie yet. But I think in terms of like where those two ideas came from, I think they came from a very similar place. I think they were developed in very similar ways, and I think we're going to get a very similar result.
Okay. Yeah, Barbie, that's high for Barbie. I don't know. But it could do that much. It just depends see how good it is. All right. I have The Flash at number 2. I think
That's a big switcheroo.
it's got big explosions. It's got Ben Affleck as Batman. I think that's going to be bigger than a lot of people are anticipating. I think I'm not Ben Affleck. Sorry, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton back as Batman, I think, is going to be a big talk. I mean, No Way Home was driven a lot by Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire back. I think this movie could be driven a lot by Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are in it at the same time. And it's going to have a bunch of cameos. Cameos always put online chatter. People got to go see those cameos. Also, the talk is that it's great. If it's great, I think that'll only boost it further.
I think it'll go much higher than where I put it. My thing is, I don't think it's going to be great. First of all, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a mess.
And that, honestly, that applies to all of these.
Yeah.
The better it is, the more successful it's going to be. The worse it is, it probably drop out of the top 10
But
entirely.
I think out of all the movies on this list, The Flash has the highest chance of being a mess because it's just the most complicated.
Yeah,
of all
it's
of
the
them by
least.
far.
It's the one that's like all the brand movies.
It's hard to explain to people what's even going on in the movie.
Out of all the brand movies, like the big IP entries and sequels, that's the one that's like, hold up, this could be just a nonsense.
That and the cameo situation for this, I think, is very different than No Way Home. Because for one, it was a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So people wanted to see the Spider-Mans in it. This is a Flash movie. I don't know what we're doing.
Well,
we don't have the other Flash here.
But
people,
we do have other Batmans.
And I have one more thing. People were asking to see the other Spider-Mans. As soon as we had the multiverse introduced to the MCU as a concept, people were like, oh, I want to see the other Marvel stuff in the MCU.
Yeah.
People wanted to see the other Spider-Mans. It had been rumored for a long time. Then we got it. That was huge. When the multiverse was like, brought into DC, no one was like, I want to see old Batman from the 80s. No one said that.
I mean, there are fans of those movies.
Absolutely there are. but no one wanted to see that. Like, yeah, we're getting Michael Keaton Batman, and I'm sure
you're saying no one,
cool.
No one was clamoring for it.
No one was,
at least not in this movie. People were clamoring for a Batman Beyond movie with him.
Oh yeah, and that would have made way more sense.
Not a lot of people were clamoring for let's just put 65-year-old Michael Keaton back in the Batsuit and have him run around again
in the Flash movie.
Yeah,
I think the expectation there is very different.
I think my proven quantity for this is Doctor Strange. That came out May of last year. Not great reviews, right?
Mm-hmm.
No big Batman or Spider-Man, but the talk of there being big multiverse cameos carried that movie to almost $1 billion. So if
we didn't know what there was going to be in that. We know everything about the Flash movie.
But we don't know. We don't know who could show up. We don't know who could show up.
There will be one surprise cameo, but we've seen everything.
Maybe George Clooney could show up as Batman.
George Clooney will not show up.
Maybe Burt Ward as Robin. Maybe Chris O'Donnell as Robin.
You're saying stuff that is not.
They have said Grant Gustin is not in the film.
Yeah, and that's the only cameo that people would have actually wanted in a Flash movie.
They were like, it doesn't make sense for Grant Gustin to be in it. And everyone was like,
though Ezra Miller was in the Flash show, and that's
apparently
how he got his name.
There's a big rumor that Christopher Reeve CGI corpse is going to show up.
Why?
But there's a big rumor.
Why? Though?
Brandon Routh Superman, Sam. Brandon Routh Superman. What if he shows up?
Why?
I like Brandon Routh.
But why would he show up in this movie?
Because he's Superman.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Neither does Batman being in this movie.
Okay, but like with the lore that we've been told, there's no metahumans in this world.
Well,
Batman's here though.
That he's going to run through the Speed Force, and when we run through the Speed Force,
he's going to go grab dudes.
No,
like
we're just going to
freaking Fortnite.
We're just going to see cameos, just flash, cameo. Big cameos,
maybe,
big money, big DC cross promotion.
Again, the difference between that and Spider-Man No Way Home is, even though those were like cameos, they really weren't cameos. Those characters were just in the movie.
Yeah.
That's very different.
From just showing up for 3 seconds.
If Spider-Man had just like popped in, went, hey, Tobey Maguire, and he was like, oh, hi, and then he had left, people would have been like, oh. But because he was in it.
They were in the whole third act.
They were main characters. People were way more excited about that. No one cares if a Superman from 50 years ago is in the movie. No one cares.
I think it's going to be big though. I think it'll
be big. I just the reason why I put it so low is because I have so little faith in DC. I have very little faith in DC. This is a very complicated idea.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't have faith in someone to achieve a project, and the project is very hard to achieve, that's bringing my expectations way down. I'm thinking these guys don't know what they're doing, and they're trying to do something very complicated, which means they're either going to do it very poorly, or the audience isn't going to understand what's going on. One of those two things is going to happen.
All right, what do you have for number 2?
For number 2, this is where I put Guardians.
Okay, you put Guardians at 2. All right.
I don't think I really need to explain a whole lot why I put Guardians at 2. That's a very safe pick. I think that I don't. The main thing
we're only one spot off. That's not that bad.
The main thing I've seen from
early
reviews, people who didn't like it, is that it was too sad.
It was too sad and
too dark. That's really dumb. You're really dumb for saying.
What are you?
You have to be so brain dead.
Honestly,
to think that's.
I don't want to freak out because we haven't seen it yet. So I don't know. It could be terrible. But people criticized Ant-Man for being too dumb and goofy, which it was.
Absolutely.
And then they went to Guardians, which was an actual serious character-focused story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not enough funny jokes. Not goofy enough.
You're dumb. Your brain is
called natural progression, guys.
You have brain rot. I'm sorry. You did the internet too much and you got brain rot.
I think a lot of the negative reviews are largely driven by they went in expecting the wrong thing.
They wanted a happy-go-lucky
They wanted
Marvel
Guardians
movie.
1 again, but it would be bad if they just did Guardians 1 again.
If I want to watch Guardians 1 again, I'll go watch Guardians 1 again.
And the thing I've noticed generally is that the people who think Guardians 1 is better have not liked the movie as much, and the people who thought Guardians 2 was better have liked the movie more. I think Guardians 2 is better than Guardians 1.
I've only seen Guardians 2, I think, like one time, so I need to go see it again.
I would rewatch it because I think a lot of that stuff's going to come back. But also, if you watch Guardians 2, the soundtrack is better, and it's way better integrated into the scenes. If you go back and watch Guardians 1,
it's like random.
The soundtrack is good, but he'll just drop 3 songs in one after the other, and then they'll be gone for 30 minutes. They're more consistent. They're better worked into the plot and the themes. The themes are better spread out throughout the entire narrative and worked better in instead of Guardians 1. They're
just more thematically
They're kind of just at the start and the end. It's better in Volume 2. It's way better spread out. The villain is better. Ego was such a better villain than Ronan.
Ronan was just like mad.
A lot of people criticize the Sovereign, but they're not really supposed to be villains. They're just kind of villains. They're like, kind of an obstacle just for them, just for stuff to happen.
They were an opening act. They were nothing.
The character... There's so many great little character moments in Volume 2. There's this great scene in Volume 2 where it's Drax and Mantis, and they're just looking at the ponds.
Yeah. I like that scene a lot.
It's such a good scene. It's just Drax sitting there, and Mantis touches him and just becomes overwhelmed with sadness. And it just tells you so much about Drax as a character.
And her.
And her. It's such a small little thing, but it gives you such a major
big insight into
how they think, and it's so good. And they do that and he does that for every character in Volume 2. They all get at least one little moment like that. It's such a good movie. I don't understand why people don't like Volume 2.
And I think people didn't like Volume 2 as much. Again, for the same reason. It was a lot darker. It was a deeper
It's a darker story than Volume 1, for sure.
And it's a darker story, I think, than most Marvel movies.
It's not darker because the stakes are higher in Volume 2, but it's darker because it's more of a character-focused story.
Yeah, you have to... you get really invested.
If the Guardians lost in Volume 1 and he blew up Xandar, they would run away and they would presumably be fine. If Ego is ripping their family apart, and that's the stakes. It's an actual character-driven story. The stakes is not
only does he kill everybody, but the Guardians break up.
Yeah, that's the stake.
The family breaks up.
Yeah, that's actual good writing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we haven't seen it yet. Well, I'm sure we'll get into more of it next week when we review Volume 3.
The most critically acclaimed Marvel movies are always the darker ones.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
Endgame.
Everyone loves
Infinity War. No Way Home is way darker than Homecoming.
A lot of people said that Infinity War was better than Endgame because of the way it
ends.
Because it was different.
Winter Soldier is very thematically dark. Yeah. Civil War as well. Civil War. I mean, they freaking all end the movie hating each other. Thor Ragnarok is very goofy, but it also has Thor's entire home being blown up. So I think the darker stuff does, I think, generally resonate with audiences. Especially, I think, if it connects with people, especially after Ant-Man, which was just a nothing burger of any emotional or character perspective, I think it can save itself from kind of the declining Marvel attention.
And I think, number one, the Marvel brand is so bad right now. I think a good movie like this could make it stand out even
Especially
more.
This, which is a little bit more separated than the other stuff is. The Guardians have always kind of been off on their own. They were very involved in Infinity War, but they're still
kind of doing their own thing.
They've always kind of been doing their own thing. So I think if you haven't been keeping up with the MCU, you dipped after Endgame, you will 100% be able to just dip right into Guardians.
Yeah, because that's really the last time they were involved.
Maybe you'll have to watch the holiday special. I don't know.
The beginning of Thor. For the 5 seconds.
But they're apparently James Gunn didn't even know that he was fired. Yeah, and they brought him back. Apparently, he didn't know they were going to put Thor with the Guardians at the end of Endgame, and he freaked out. He was like, "What am I supposed to do with Thor?" And then they were like, "It's fine. Taika's going to put him in Thor," and he was like,
"Take him out." Okay,
yeah. But
and I think I had one more thought about.
I'm so excited for Guardians.
I haven't seen any other criticisms other than
I haven't seen any problem. I've seen not that many people complaining about actual problems with the movie, other than
I've only seen too
sad for me.
I'm too sad. I got too sad at the movie. Good, be sad. End of sentence.
I've seen a lot of stuff where it's the story is really good. It's a really good send off, but it's so sad, and I'm like, yeah. Some stories are sad.
Yeah. That's the point, you goober. All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's get into our number one picks.
Okay. You go first. I'll go. I'll go first. Okay. You're going to hate me. Because honestly, This is a really dumb pick. I'm gambling a lot.
I don't even know what you're.
I have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny being the highest grossing.
There's no way that does better than Guardians and
I think I legitimately think it will.
I don't think that there's that much hype for it.
I think they love them requels. Everyone be loving them requels, all right? We got classic actor coming back to a role. We got action, we got adventure, we got probably time travel. If it's good, if it's really good, it can be number one.
If it's really good, it could be
also,
top.
It kind of has that dad factor. A little bit.
It's got grandpa factor.
It's got grandpa factor.
That's not as good as dad factor.
But I think it could do it. I think it can be number one.
I don't know. I think
it's got a great release date. It's got the end of June. From
what I've seen from trailers,
I was looking at
I don't think the story
previous year's box office, and I was like, okay. A lot of people think the Marvel movie is always number one, but it usually isn't. I went back to 2015. Okay, Avengers: Age of Ultron comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Minions comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of those movies is number one.
Okay.
Number one is Jurassic World. If this has Jurassic World syndrome, even just like a little bit,
I don't think it does, though.
That could have the juice to push it over.
It's got that.
I think it might.
Okay, but no, Jurassic World won for the same reason, like, stupid, like, Aquaman won. Like, it was just a big CGI action fest.
This might also be a big CGI action fest.
But if it is that, then it won't be the character-driven story that the Indiana Jones people want.
But I'm not saying this is everybody, but dummies don't know that. Dummies just see the guy in the hat and say, that's Indiana Jones.
There's one critical factor
yes.
I think you're missing here. This movie exists to set up a sequel.
Without Indiana Jones.
Without Indiana Jones. Which means a lot of the time in this movie is going to be dedicated not to Indiana Jones and his quest,
to his goddaughter,
but to his goddaughter, who is a character we've never seen before, have no emotional connection to, is unrelated to the story as far as we understand it for the most part. And that's going to be the focus.
This is stupid. I just have a gut feeling that this is just going to be the movie that does it somehow.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm going with my gut here, Sam.
All right, you do that.
What do you have as number one?
My gut tells me.
Oh, yours is dumber than mine.
No, but mine actually makes sense. Fast X is going to make the most money.
Oh my god.
It's not a it might. It could. If this happens, it might. Like, Indiana Jones has to try. And they have to try hard to get the number one spot. Fast X?
They don't have to try
nearly as hard. They just have to take a dump on screen in front of everyone, have a car drive over it, and go, family.
The end of the road.
That's it.
The end of the road begins, Sam.
That's the other thing. This is the big finale.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end. This is the Avengers Infinity War.
Oh
the
my
Fast
God.
X universe.
The Fast Saga.
I don't see a world where this isn't the number one movie. Because for every other movie on this list, its spot changes based on how good it is. Right? If Oppenheimer's bad, it's going down. If Little Mermaid's bad, it's going down. If Barbie's bad, it's going down. If Guardians is bad, it's going down. If Fast X is bad,
it doesn't change it that much.
That's just a Fast and Furious movie. If Fast X is good, okay.
So the last one came out in 2021. It came out in June. It did about 172 domestic.
I'm talking just like overall.
It did worldwide. It did 700 million,
and that was peak COVID.
That was 2021. That was COVID's still a pretty big factor.
That was nothing else did numbers like that during COVID.
Let's see. Hobbs and Shaw came out in 2019. That did 159 domestic.
That's like a spin-off. That doesn't count.
So that one didn't do nearly as well as the other ones. I'm trying to find the last straight up one, which I guess would have been Fate of the Furious. Which I don't think that came out in the summer though. So hold up.
We're gonna have to go way back.
Yeah, I gotta use the Wayback Machine.
What was it called?
It was F8. F8. Nope. They didn't put Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, it was FATE, not F8 of the Furious.
Come on, it's so easy.
Which should have been, and then the next one was F9.
All right. Did 226 in the U.S. Fate did. It did 1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry, Barbie's not making a billy. Guardian's not making a billy. Little Mermaid not making a billy. None of these are making a billion.
Yeah, none of these are billion-dollar franchises except for Fast X.
Fast X. That's $1 billion right there.
That's true. All right, you got Fast X number one.
And also, the last time one released it in 2021 when it released was still COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Specifically in China, where these movies pop off. Like they do massive in China. Now we have John Cena, who's also, for some bizarre reason, insanely famous in China. I don't know why. He is, though.
So this was supposed to be domestic, but I think we'll just kind of look at overall. I do think I did mine domestic. If we're going global, I do agree with you.
There's no way it doesn't.
Yeah. That's interesting. So we have all the same movies, just in a different order.
In different orders, yeah. I mean, I don't think anything we can look.
So stuff we excluded. We didn't put Book Club: The Next Chapter on there.
Asteroid City, maybe.
Didn't put Fool's Paradise, which I don't even think that's getting a wide release.
That is.
It's Charlie Day's movie.
Shoot, we forgot about Extraction too.
We didn't put the book. Neither one of us put any horror stuff. No, The Boogeyman, no Insidious.
Those are
no Transformers. Neither one of us had Transformers on our list.
That one I think could. I think it has the potential.
I don't think it will
to get on there.
I think nobody. I think the general public's interest in Transformers is gone.
I think that's true. Also,
I think that every time I see this trailer come up, everyone's reaction is just like, "Oh, okay, we're doing this again."
Why is Transformers popular? Just generally speaking,
big robot hit other big robot and make it explode.
Why is it really popular?
It was popular.
Not the movies. Why is Transformers?
It was popular in the 80s.
Why?
Because of the toys.
Because of the toys. What do people not buy anymore?
Toys.
Unless it's Lego, who cares?
Yeah.
You want to know who they sold the Transformers license to for the Legos?
Lego.
Rio.
No, Lego has it now.
They have one now. One.
I think they're planning on doing more.
They should have a long time ago. Anyway, but my point is, toy sales aren't really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
People don't really buy, again, except for Barbie and Lego. Those are really the only two that still make any money.
Yeah, I just think domestically, there's no interest. Yeah, internationally, it could maybe do okay, but I don't think. I mean,
I honestly think it's over.
Bumblebee didn't do great, and Bumblebee was actually good.
I will say though, no one really knew what Bumblebee was.
Nobody knew that Bumblebee came out really, but like Last Night did not do nearly as well as Age of Extinction did.
And I don't think they've done a good job of explaining that this is different than Michael Bay universe.
People are just going to think this is another Michael Bay one.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to know that it isn't. And then also,
Michael Bay probably thinks
the last one that was a big hit was 9 years ago. Like, this is not a hot franchise.
No, I don't see Transformers.
I don't think Transformers is going to break in the top 10.
Again,
neither one.
I would say there's like a 20% chance it ends up on the list.
If it was going to beat one of these out, I think it would probably be Elemental.
Yeah. I could see enough, like, dudes, like older guys. I could see Dad Factor winning it out.
A little bit.
Maybe.
Just a little bit. If it's good.
If it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. But wait a minute. Wait, no. We missed something.
What did we miss?
We missed something huge.
What did we miss?
Tucker.
What?
Big Monkey.
Shoot.
We forgot about
We did not factor in Big Monkey.
Shoot. Okay. Shoot, we might have to actually change the list.
Our lists are locked in. No, our lists are locked in. They're locked in. We can't change.
No, but Big Monkey.
No.
This changes everything.
No.
For those of you who don't know, movies with big monkeys.
No, it's comics with big monkeys too.
But movies also.
It's never been proven wrong.
I mean, King Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong,
Kong Skull
Island, Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes 2.
Big monkeys do
Planet of the Apes 3.
And not only do we got Big Monkey, but Big Monkey
Peter
fighting
Jackson's
Big
King
Robot.
Kong.
It's Big Robot Monkey. Bro, we screwed up.
I still don't think this is it.
No, I don't think it's on the list.
Strays. We didn't include Strays, the R-rated dog comedy with Will Ferrell.
That will be forgotten about in a matter of 3 days.
Again, that would have been a funny joke 20 years ago.
That movie would have been...
When those were actually a thing, those types of movies.
Okay. No offense to these guys. When their names were big in the early 2000s, and when movies about realistic dogs with poorly animated mouths talking and running around a city were a a thing.
Or a weird fad for no reason.
Or a weird fad. This movie probably would have blown up.
It's a parody movie 20 years too late.
Yeah.
This is
way.
This is like if Scary Movie came out last year or Spaceballs came out in 2006.
It's way too late to the punchline.
Yeah. We didn't include Asteroid City. I do think that's going to be one of his better performers, although I don't think it'll be mainstream enough to make a lot of money.
The only people who watch Wes Anderson movies are like college school film student junkies. Like that's really the biggest like demographic.
I don't what even is his highest grossing
everyone
movie?
In my art class, when I took the art class last semester, anytime where we were talking about like symmetry, everyone was like, Wes Anderson? Wes Anderson? What? Wes Anderson? What? And then the teacher put like a still frame from Fantastic Mr. Fox, and they're like, "Well, I love Wes Anderson. He's my favorite movie guy. I love that guy." But it's only college students where that happens.
Let me see if I can find his highest grossing movie.
And don't get me wrong, Asteroid City looks cool.
Grand Budapest Hotel, that did 172 globally. Yeah, he's not going to break in the top 10.
He's not going into.
I mean, not that I don't think it'll be terrible. I just don't think it's going to be a mainstream enough hit.
And the cast is like
the cast is absurdly famous.
Yeah, we got a bunch of big names,
but like all of his movies do, and they still don't know.
Yeah, no one.
No.
People go into Wes Anderson movies because they know that it will be critically received very well. Like, regardless of how well it performs, it's going to be critically received very well.
Yeah,
because it's a Wes Anderson movie. And you go as an actor, you want to be in one of those because
prestige.
It's a prestige thing. You're like, I was
a tour filmmaker.
I'm a real actor.
Yeah.
It's one of those type of things, but it's not gonna make a lot.
Apparently, he got it from an R to a PG-13, even though there's nudity in it. So he got away with having nudity in a PG-13. Good for him. No Hard Feelings. We didn't put that on there. That's the Jennifer Lawrence like raunchy comedy.
That will
from Columbia Pictures, aka our boys at Sony.
I will hear one table talk about that at the restaurant I work at, and that is it. That'll be the only conversation I will overhear.
Neither one of us gave any thought to Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. Which, if I had to pick a possible embarrassment of the summer, it'll be that one. Don't act like it's gonna. It's not.
No, I don't think it'll be good. But in terms of family movies at the beginning of the summer, it's
already packed. It's packed right. It's at the tail end of the three big family movies.
Yeah, I can see,
and it's got no brand recognition, and it's got no marketing.
I don't think it'll end up on top 10. No way it ends up on top 10. But I think people like it when studios other than Disney make animated movies. In general, if it's not Illumination and Disney, people are like, "Oh wow, look, animated movie, whoa!" So I don't know. It might have some of that factor to it, but I don't.
Yeah. Again, we didn't put Insidious.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
We didn't put Insidious. There's a new Insidious coming out.
No one knows what's happening.
I was looking at the last couple of years. There occasionally a horror movie will break in there, but it's not super common.
No one cares about
last year, The Black Phone broke in there. The Meg got in there a few years ago.
Yeah, but that had like Stephen King associated.
Yeah.
And The Meg was only popular because it was a shark movie.
We both have theater. We got.
Wait, isn't The Meg 2 coming out though?
We'll get to that in a minute. Haunted Mansion. Neither one of us put Haunted Mansion on there.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere.
It's
sorry, Danny. That's not going
Halloween.
Anywhere.
Should have come out at Halloween.
How are you guys this stupid?
It was in September and they moved it up.
Disney, guys,
Spooky House movie goes in the Halloween.
Are you dumb? Like, genuinely.
They're losing $100 million by putting it out in the summer.
Stupid. What? Why?
They're not dumb for making it.
No, it was very smart to make it. You're dumb for releasing it in the middle of the
summer. In July. Great cast, though.
Counter-programming against your own Little Mermaid movie.
Great cast. Not great behind-the-scenes talent, but I mean, you got the writer from Ghostbusters.
We got Jared Leto in there.
They got the writer from Ghostbusters 2016. I don't. And then we get into August. We didn't have any August movies, either of us. There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's not going to be top 10. No
way. I really don't know about this one. I like the animation style, but anytime I see people,
I do want to see it because the animation looks really cool.
I like that they got kids. They got the actual kids as the turtles.
Actors, yeah.
But anytime I see people reacting to the trailers for this, it's just like, why are we doing another Turtles? Why are we doing animated Turtles?
There's been way too many versions of the
and the last live action one didn't do very well. So.
However, the last animated one was very well received
in 2004.
Oh,
the Netflix one?
Series. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but that was also a Netflix thing. So
yeah.
No one had to pay to watch that.
Wasn't a theatrical release.
The Meg 2.
Okay, the Meg 2, I could see breaking the list.
No. What?
I could see it ending in top 10.
Come on. Really? It's the Meg.
You remember how
the last one made it in, but does anybody remember the Meg? The last one barely cracked in there at number 10.
Okay, think about it this way.
It beat out Mamma Mia 2.
Think about it this way. How many people know about the Meg right now?
7.
How many people knew about it before it came out?
Like 8.
Like 0, because it didn't exist yet. We've had a whole Meg movie now.
That was 5 years ago.
Doesn't matter. There's people that have seen it. So people's brains are like, oh, I know that.
I don't know.
So if you walk into the theater with 5 of your friends, none of you guys could agree on a movie beforehand. You just walked up to the theater. You see, I don't want to see a Marvel movie. Oh, your friend's like, I already saw Guardians. You're like, oh, well, we don't want to watch The Little Mermaid. That looks stupid. That's for babies. And then one guy's like, well, none of us have seen the Meg yet. He's like, have you seen the Meg? He's like, no. And he's like, have you seen the Meg? He's like, no. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. I guess we're seeing the Meg. Like, that's a very easy movie to just go see.
I don't think it's got it. Gran Turismo.
That's
too dumb.
That is a hilariously stupid concept. You guys are stupid for thinking it's a good idea.
The Last Voyage of Demeter is a vampire thing. No, I don't think it'll break in there. Blue Beetle.
I forgot Heart of Stone.
That's a Netflix thing.
Skydance.
Blue Beetle, Sam.
Blue Beetle should not have been released theatrically. That is.
You're saying that as a fan of Blue Beetle.
I really like Blue Beetle. He's like one of my favorite characters from Young Justice. He was super funny in
Batman Brave and Bold.
I love Blue Beetle. I think he's awesome. I don't think that movie is
worthy of a theatrical release.
It was shot. It wasn't shot for a theatrical.
No, it was shot for HBO.
It's very clear from the trailers.
It's a little kiddie movie
that it is shot and was intended for streaming.
Yeah,
and if you put it on a big screen, it just makes all the flaws much easier to spot.
I think that one's probably going to bomb.
I think that's
and I don't want it to. I'm not rooting for it, but I think that one probably will.
I would love for Blue Beetle to do well. Again, I love Blue Beetle. I like the guy from Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, yeah, Zolo Maridueñas.
But I don't think that should have
White Bird, the Wonder sequel.
Oh yeah, no, it's a spin-off.
Oh, they got rid of the Wonder part. It's just White Bird now.
Yeah.
No one's...
Which was smart because it has nothing to do.
No
with
one's got a care
at all.
Please don't destroy. That's the comedy group from SNL. No.
Okay. No. The Hill.
That's about it. Equalizer 3 rounds out the summer in September.
Oh shoot, we forgot about my big fat Greek wedding 3. Dang
There's really, I mean. The ones I would watch out for that aren't on either of our lists to break in there is Transformers
and the Meg.
Maybe the Meg.
Those are the only 2 that have a chance of breaking in.
Haunted Mansion, TMNT, and then any horror movie that might just get enough teenagers to break in there.
Any horror movie that's just on the list.
But also,
The Nun 2.
That's not until late September though. There's a chance that one of these August movies will get in there. So a lot of times you'll see that in the summer box office. It didn't really happen last year because nothing came out in August.
Yeah.
But one of those August movies that comes out early is able to kind of play through the dog days of the summer. It can wrap up enough dollars to break like number 9 or 10.
I think the Meg could do because it's in August.
I think the Meg and TMNT, it's gonna if that happens, it'll be one of those 2.
TMNT is animated, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brand isn't that big.
But it is a brand. It's a brand bigger. No, it's a brand bigger than the Meg.
It's bigger than the Meg, but not theatrically. Like the Meg 1 made more money than I would probably say the last 3 Ninja Turtles movies combined.
Oh, that's not true. No. How much the Meg did not make. I think you're overestimating how big the Meg was.
The Meg made a lot of money in China, like a lot.
Oh, in China it was ginormous.
I'm saying international box office.
The Meg did 530. Global. It did about $500 million.
That's a lot.
TMNT Out of the Shadows was the last one. That was 2016. That was 7 years ago. Feeling old doing this. That did 245. I did about half.
Yeah,
So
there's no way Ninja Turtles beats the Meg. There's no way that it beats.
All right. That's our top 10 picks. Interesting that we had the same 10. So we'll come back. Maybe we'll check up on this as the summer goes, but we'll come back at the end of the summer. Compare. We'll have some sort of prize or punishment. I'll post both these lists on Twitter so you can see our picks. But that's our top 10 summer movie predictions. A pretty good summer in terms of quantity. A lot of just complete 50-50 shots that a lot of this is going to be any good. But I'm looking forward to it. A lot of interesting stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I guess we can wrap up the show.
That's pretty much everything for today, guys.
Thank you very much for watching and listening to the show. As always, we are available here on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple. All the links are in the description.
All the places.
We're also on Twitter at McDonMedia.
I haven't been streaming for a while, but I might be coming back soon.
This is Twitch. That works on real life schedule, but who knows? Patrick will be back for a couple episodes
during the summer when he's back in town.
A couple episodes in the next coming weeks. So we'll see you guys. Guardians 3 next week. Very excited to talk about that. Very excited to see it. The most I've been excited for a movie in about 4 years.
Yeah, I don't think I've been this excited for a movie since Doctor Strange 2.
The second trailer came out, and I felt like a feeling that I was like, oh, I can be excited for things.
I was excited for Doctor Strange 2.
Eternals killed 80% of my MCU enthusiasm.
Now, Doctor Strange 2 ended up being not that great. But I was very excited.
I was interested in Doctor Strange 2. I was never ecstatic.
Because I really like Doctor Strange.
I was not a huge fan of the first one. I'm a huge fan of Sam Raimi, but I knew he was just kind of thrown in this project last minute.
Kind of dropped in.
But I'm very excited for Guardians. I'm a big James Gunn fan.
And weekly Fortnite news, Anakin or the Clone Troopers.
All right, bye. Bye-bye. All right, I got to go.